I stood up and in horror. Like I literally, I literally was like, I think I almost cried. And I'm looking at myself, and then I think, wait a second, this can't happen. I'm like, and it was like one of those, I wanted to get out of there. It wasn't me. This wasn't mine.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 103 of the On the Runs podcast. The snow from the nor'easter is already gone. The eclipse is over. It's starting to feel like spring, and the weather's looking positive for next Monday. We're back for another great week of the Boston Weeks episodes. But first, I got to say, hey, what's up, Erica?
You basically covered everything that I was going to tell you today. So, eclipse was cool. I ran outside. My rail trail is back to normal. It's gorgeous out. I'm just so happy. Spring may actually be here for real this time. I don't know.
And
but yeah, it's looking great for the big race.
And
on Monday.
You shaved your legs.
I had to mention that. I was like, hey, do you want to record a little earlier tonight? And I'm like, oh, I just got to hop in the shower. Went for a real nice run and realized that I had like freaking tree growing on my legs. So it took me a little bit longer to jump on today. Yeah, we share a lot of details.
And we share it with you, the everyday listener of the pod. But yeah, so
they totally need to know that.
Oh, well, they do. They do. We're transparent.
Smooth.
Well, I was like, when you said you want to record early, I'm like, yeah, I can start right now. And you're like, whoa. I need to take a shower first. And then you took a little longer than you thought because you had to shave the tree off your legs.
Basically. I mean, I got a great 7-mile run in today. It turned into like a progression run. I was just feeling awesome. And then I did like a mile cool down walk, which I swear is the key to me not getting injured. I'll do like a run of whatever pace, can be an easy run, a progression run, and then I'll just walk afterwards. And I swear I feel great the next day. It's totally been helping me with any injuries. So totally a big fan of that. And yeah.
Well, I didn't get to run today. I will run tomorrow, but my boss is going on a vacation. He's going to be gone for a little over a week. So today, him and I, we huddled up. We got a lot of stuff done planning wise. And then he took me out to lunch. So that's awesome. Why I didn't run, because we went out for lunch. And then we checked out the eclipse.
I would take a free lunch.
Yeah,
did you have the sweet glasses, or did you have to make like the paper plate?
I had the sweet glasses. The people at work, like someone at work bought a bunch, and we're all outside. And one guy even gave me like a lens just for my phone.
Oh,
and my Google phone took the most amazing photo of the eclipse.
I believe I saw that in the On the Run story.
That's
on
right.
Instagram/Facebook.
I almost wrote down something like, not a fruit phone.
See, I knew if you didn't have a special lens for it, like you shouldn't take pictures. So I was like, you know what? My eyes are going to take all the pictures I need.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool to watch.
I was like debating, like, is this really as cool as the hype? And yes, when I put the glasses on and looked at it, I was like, okay, it's really cool.
So eerie out when it started to get darker.
Yeah.
It was like, I was like, this is apocalypse now. It just felt so strange.
I didn't understand the once in a lifetime thing though. Like, I feel like this happens every 4 years or something. And everyone's like, no, this is once in a lifetime. And I didn't like look into it. Maybe it's once in a lifetime that it comes like really through New Hampshire, because just 3 hours north of us, like traffic was wicked bad. And everyone's hiking the mountains and like parking on the side of the highways, trying to get the total ellipse, where I was in Billerica. So I just got the guy told me we were getting 97%.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool.
That's pretty good to not sit in traffic all day just to hike a mountain.
It didn't get totally dark though. I mean, it did. It just, it felt like a big cloud was blocking the sun.
Weird? It just had like a weird haze to it. Like things just looked weird. But I mean, it was cool to experience. I want to say that the last eclipse like that we got to see was in like, somebody said the 50s. So I don't know. That's a pretty good time span. Don't quote me on it.
Well, I feel like we're having one in a few years again, but
probably.
I also feel like the next one of this kind I heard will be in 2044. So in 20 years from now.
I know that we get like
I don't know if it comes through New Hampshire. I think
Yeah.
From what I heard was
God
the next
damn
one
it.
crosses 3 states. Whatever.
Yep.
It was cool. I know all the schools had like an eclipse party because the schools get out around 3 and it happened kind of around 3:20. So
Yeah,
it was kind of
that's
cool.
pretty fun.
Yeah. But anyways, how was your weekend? What did you do because you had a race that didn't happen?
Yes, Cheap got canceled or it got postponed. So I won't actually be running that until the 20th. But I was secretly, not so secretly, wicked excited it got canceled. I
Really?
did not want to run in that. You know me, I'm the fair weather runner. So I wound up doing my long run.
Saturday was a beautiful day.
I mean, yes, but running in whatever was left of that storm, I'm sure it wouldn't have been great. But there's a chance that when I actually run it, it's going to be warmer and I can wear shorts. And
Okay.
who knows? I'm going to be pumped. But yeah, I did have a long run to do, and me just being like, I don't want to go outside. I did 24 miles on the treadmill, and thanks to you and Allie G, you guys were talking me through a lot of it because I was like, why did I decide to do this? This was a terrible
On a
idea.
Friday night too. You did it on
On
Friday
a Friday
night.
night. I really just wanted to sleep in the next day because with running all these races, like it's just training, you're training all the time and you're up early, and I'm not a morning person. So I said, screw it. I'd rather stay up late, enjoy myself, probably not, but just get it out of the way. So that's what I did. My Friday night was 24 miles on the treadmill.
What time did you finish at?
Oh God, it was like 11 o'clock. I started at 5:30. I did take a couple of breaks. I desperately needed a bathroom break. So I took probably 5 minutes there. And then I actually changed clothes just to feel a little less gross, you know? So that was a small break. I did a couple other runs. And then I took like a food break. I sat and because I was watching episode after episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Which
It's your
is
new thing right now.
fantastic
You're
show.
binging it,
Oh my
aren't
God.
you?
I am binging it. Absolutely. So I watched many episodes of that. And in one scene, they had Terry Cruz's character, Terry. He was opening a jar of pickles, and I went, oh, I want a pickle. So I took a break and I went upstairs. I made myself a little sandwich. I had a pickle. It hit the spot. And then I was able to finish the last 4 miles after that.
Did you sleep well at all? Or what did it take you a while to fall? Like I couldn't fall asleep right away.
No, I did not fall asleep right away. I was up till probably 1:30, but Brandon was up playing Nintendo, so I just sat on the couch watching him play Nintendo, and then we went to bed, and I did actually sleep pretty well. I think I got up at like 11 o'clock the next day.
Wow. Oh my God, the life
Back
of
to
no
my college
kids.
days.
Well,
Haven't done that in a while.
when you woke up at 11, I was already probably had the boys dressed fully in their snow pants and jackets. I already got their ski rentals, which I'll never have to rent skis again. I'm buying them skis for next year. But last minute decision, I had the boys all day. I wouldn't call it last minute. I decided on Friday to take the boys skiing on Saturday. One more time. My mom and dad came and they kind of hung out and helped out in the little bunny slope area. They call it the meadows. And I took them up the chairlift of an area called the barnyard 3 times each. That's kind of like a massive bunny slope is the barnyard.
Okay.
They have a barn.
Wait, which mountain was this? Ragged? Or
Ragged.
did you go somewhere
Ragged
else?
Mountain.
Okay.
Yeah. So I took them up there. We went skiing all day Saturday. We watched the pond skimming, which
cool.
I think I'm going to do next year. If
you are actually going to participate?
Yes.
Oh, I'll come up for that.
If I get new skis next year, new skis and boots, I will go do the pond skimming in my old skis and boots. And I really think I can do it. Not only that, I think I can do it backwards.
Backwards.
Yeah. I'm a pretty good backwards skier. Like sometimes I ski the entire trail down backwards just to be a show off. Not gonna lie. Do it in front of the kids and everything, because Adeline and her friends we go skiing with, and I'll sometimes ski in front of them, but ski backwards to watch them and make sure they don't fall or whatever. And I can do it pretty well. My skis are twin tips, and like I'm a pretty good backwards ice skater too, so I think it makes sense. I think though I could do the pond skimming going backwards.
Well, I would love to see it. You let me know if and when you sign up, and I will go content for you. Get content.
Yeah. I'll go. Usually people go 2 to 3 times, so I'll do the first time normal. Get used to it.
You gotta try it out. But so what happens? Like, do you have to wear special clothes so you don't get totally soaked?
No, they encourage you to wear costumes though. Like dudes were going down there wearing like cocoa whatever booby bras, coconut bras, and they're wearing like like straw skirts and stuff, and people would wear
Yeah.
costumes or just wear like a Hawaiian shirt or something. Like they know they're getting wet. You know what I thought was cool was instead of a lifeguard, they had someone from the Coast Guard there, and he would go in and
Really?
pull you out every time you get stuck. And he had like this whole entire wet or dry suit on, and it said U.S. Coast Guard, and
That's
it was
pretty
really cool.
cool.
There was a ton of people. It was one of the first times I can remember going and watching the pond skimming. It's kind of like a annual thing now at all the mountains. The Saturday of the last weekend of the year, they do it. So
That's awesome.
I think I'm going to do it next year. I'm trying to convince my buddy, his name is Eric as well, to do it with me.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
It would be a lot of fun. It would be a lot of fun. They got a DJ. It's just a good crowd, good vibe. The sun was out. It felt nice. The water's cold, of course, and some people would try to spray you. Tommy and Tyler really like to watch it. They were more like just like wide-eyed, like what's going on? They had a blast.
Yeah.
They had a blast, and they were tired, like so tired at the end of the day. I got Tyler out of his snow gear, and he just laid down on the floor and fell asleep in the ski lodge.
That's adorable.
So tired.
I can imagine. That's a long day for kids. I assume you skip nap time just to spend more time on the mountains.
Well, yeah, and they napped
skiing
the
itself,
entire
it's a lot of
car
work.
ride home. So
Good.
And then I went on Sunday with Adeline, and it was the last day of the year. So that was a lot of fun. It was beautiful weather. The kids had a blast. They didn't want to stop skiing when we stopped.
Oh, yeah, I don't blame them.
Yeah. And it's when you get the kids skiing together, that's when that happens. When it's just like me and Adeline, or my friend Eric, when it's just him and his kids, they kind of like, oh, we want to go in and eat now or whatever. And when they're all together, they just want to keep going. They want to ride the lift by themselves without their parents. And
oh, really?
they all pick a turn every run, like which way we go. It's so much fun with other kids and other friends. So
very cool. Well, I'm glad you had a blast. You made the most out of this ski season for sure.
I did. I renewed our passes for next year, and it will be a busy year. I think I keep saying this, but right now my brain is thinking I am done with hockey for a few years because I want to go skiing all weekend with the kids. Because now I'll have to take the boys on one day and Adeline on the other. Or Adeline can go every time, but I'm going to take the boys once and then definitely go with Adeline on a separate day so she's not in the bunny slope all day.
Right.
I think I'm
she's
done.
going to get good. She's going to be really good because she's already very smooth with her skiing. Like, oh,
could
man, I watch her and I'm like, I can't do that, kid. You just keep going.
Yeah,
She's
she
doing
could use
awesome.
some lessons that I can't teach her because it's like, I know dad, or I am turning dad, or I did do a hockey stop dad, but she could
Sounds
use
like
some
me
fine
when my
tuning.
dad trying to teach me how to golf. Does not go well. I'm like,
Every
I know what
kid's
you're
the same
trying to
way.
tell me.
Yeah.
But I can't do it.
It was a great year, but I am happy now we got those 2 storms in. Potentially, I could go skiing one more time up at Jay Peak, potentially, but I'm not pushing my luck. We'll see what happens way up north. But I'm ready for spring. I'm ready for more running, Mount Washington training, and going to the Boston Marathon next week. And we had a great 2 guests last week, but we have another amazing 2 guests this week. And starting off right now, we have the Yuki Corn.
The Yuki Corn. Oh my God. She's a legend around here, like the New Hampshire parts. You go to any Millennium race or pretty much any race around the area, and you are going to see this beautiful figure in costume, sparkles,
rhinestones,
and
glitter, skirts, wavy
I'm not doing her
arm
justice.
bands.
She puts so much effort into these costumes, and she just looks so beautiful and effortless as she runs in these costumes while I'm over here sweating my face off. So Yuki is just fantastic. She's a fast runner, and she does it with style.
Yes, she absolutely does. So I'm wicked excited. We met her almost a year ago, and I said, will you come on the pod next year? Like, will you wait a while? Because Boston Weeks is amazing. She shares with us a story that no one in the entire world besides her own husband has heard. It is a On the Runs exclusive, and dare I say, it's horrifying.
Yes, that is the perfect word to describe that story. Listening to it, I was just mouth drop. Couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
You guys are going to love that story.
Yeah. Code Brown galore.
Sharing, Yuki.
It's up there in the top 3 Code Browns that she's never shared. Her story was so cool. You're going to learn a lot about her and her dad and her young life growing up in multiple countries that I had no clue. So you guys are going to love this. Guys, enjoy. This is going to be amazing.
Here we go. Yuki Chorney, on the On the Runs podcast.
Our next guest on the pod loves to spread the joy of running through fashionable race day outfits while still crushing her goals. She has run in 498 races, soon to be 500, many of them dressed up in outfits galore with all the gems and rhinestones to go with it. We are wicked excited to finally have her on the podcast, part of our Boston Week series. Yuki Chorney, welcome to the On the Runs podcast. How are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you guys?
We are doing awesome, Yuki. I am so excited to have you here, probably more than Eric, because I've been seeing you around town in the New Hampshire running scene for quite a while now, just admiring your beautiful costumes and just how fast you are, too. You're a super speedy one. So we are so pumped to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you. Pumped to be here.
Yuki, we met before. I've met you one time. I've seen you many times, but I've met you one time, and it was this past year at the Goffstown Gallop when we were just having a lot of fun in a high school parking lot, drinking booze, which is not allowed in a high school parking lot. But we met you. We met your amazing husband, Eric, who spells his name with the right letter C, and a big Bruins fan. I had so much fun meeting you there. What is the Goffstown Gallop? That is Erica's favorite race. Is that a race you do every year, or was that your first gallop?
That was like my fourth gallop. I first started doing them. My dad was a huge gallop fan. He's, loves David French. He's been doing a lot of the gallops since back in the 90s. And so he brought me to do my first one in 2011. So I did a couple of them, but it's a great event. It was so fun to see you guys there. And I still have my On the Run stickers and magnets on my fridge.
Oh, we're going to have to update that. We rebranded our logo.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, we'll have to get some new stickers and magnets brought up. But
okay.
Hopefully we'll see you at the Gallop again this year, because I won't miss it. I will figure out every way to make it to that race. I've got myself a little streak going. So
I know. Yeah, how many have you done?
Every year since 2009. Wow. And I even did the virtual one when they had it in 2020.
Impressive.
I want to break some news for you. One, I will not see you at the Gallop. I will miss it this year. Sad news. But the good news is, the t-shirt you get that says the Goffstown Gallop? On the back, you will have an On the Runs logo as a Goffstown Gallop sponsor. That is breaking news for the first time. Erica, let's not announce it until this episode drops.
Fair enough. I will keep it under wraps.
Then I have to go. I need to get that t-shirt.
Absolutely.
The other thing I noticed, so you listen to us. That's amazing. We follow you. We see your stories and your posts. You had a little treadmill incident the other day.
Yes. It happened to be on my birthday of all days.
No.
I'm on my treadmill. I'm trying to get in my birthday miles, and I hear this clunking noise, and it's kind of like, most runners when they, have an injury or something, you're in denial about the whole thing. I'm running going, that doesn't sound good. I'm fine. Keep on going. It's loud. It keeps on making this loud cracking noise. And I finish my run. I go, I'm like, I think it's okay. I look around, the whole base, the steel base is just cracked in half. And I'm thinking, wow, I probably shouldn't have been running on it. No wonder I was bouncing around like I was on a trampoline the whole time. But I just had to get my miles in, and it, it's not even 2 years old. So I was just so miserable. And it was just at the start of my marathon training. It was the first week of January. I was ready to get all my winter miles in because I hate the cold. And it was like the worst timing possible for a treadmill to break. So
that is not a birthday present you want, Yuki.
It was not.
No fair.
Was there any resolution to this treadmill incident?
Well, it took some time, and I'd heard some mixed reviews about the customer service at NordicTrack. So we opened a ticket. You take all the pictures. They get you on. It's a third-party vendor that kind of handles the repairs and resolution. And we submitted it, waited a week, no response. Waited a second week, no response. Wasn't surprised. We emailed. Finally, someone said, why don't you just DM NordicTrack? And I said, why? What's that going to do? Of course, within 5 minutes of me sending them a DM, they right back at me. And they said, well, let us know. What's the problem? What's your ticket that you opened? So I gave them the ticket that we opened, just like we were supposed to. It was good customers. And but we still had to call 4 or 5 more times.
Oh, my
gosh.
It
took probably about 3 weeks for them to finally say, we'll get you a new treadmill. So I did end up getting, it took 6 weeks, but I got my new treadmill a couple weeks ago, and I have been able to train on it. So, of course, now it's weather's nice, so I'm outside. So,
But you had to put up with that cold weather for that whole 6 weeks. Oh my gosh.
I
I
know.
would have been as miserable as you.
I have to ask, was it a DM, like a direct private message, or did you like post socially
Calling out
so
Nordic Track
everybody
right
else
now.
can see the message and Nordic Track's like, oh my God, this is Yuki and she's posting negative stuff about us.
Right.
Let's get on her right away. Was it private or public?
Well, I wish I had that sort of influence or public figureness to myself to have got to do anything, but it was a private DM. So I
Well,
really
you
wasn't expecting much.
you
I'm
would
glad
be
it worked.
surprised. I was at a Red Sox game and I never saw the Cracker Jack guy. So I tweeted at the Red Sox and the company that did all the food. And I said, where's the Cracker Jack guy? Section like 102, row 13's been waiting. Within a half an inning later, our entire row got free Cracker Jacks.
I'm
That's
impressed.
awesome. Social
So
media, that's it.
yeah, you have a lot more power than me. So if I can get Cracker Jacks at a Red Sox game, you could have gone public, but I think you did it, at least right by going private, giving them a chance first before going public, and you got yourself a new Nordic Track treadmill. Question: do you do iFit then?
I don't do iFit.
Hmm.
So when they offered me a new treadmill, I decided they gave me the choice. You can either get the same model or any model of your choosing. And I had the 32i, which is like their most expensive model. So I thought I bought it. Basically, you pay more, it's better quality, right?
You would
So
hope so.
well, I had hoped so, but it didn't turn out that way. So I said, well,
Mhm.
forget that. I'm just going to go to a different model. It doesn't have as big a screen. I don't use iFit. So you don't really need the big screen. So after I did that, I realized I actually didn't like it because I usually watch TV and shows and movies on my
Ah.
big screen TV in front of my treadmill. And when I got the big treadmill, the brand new one, I couldn't see the TV. I'm too short. So I was always straining my neck. So I said, I'm going to get the X22 that has a smaller screen because I don't use iFit. I just do a manual run. So
There you go. That's smart.
I know it's a waste though, right? Because you have the whole iFit program.
Well, we
Well,
know a few people who love
yeah, you
iFit and really enjoy it, and we actually have had an iFit instructor in the past. So,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
we're a supporter of them all. But I was curious if you did iFit and if you followed the one and only Ashley Paulson. So,
Oh,
who has hair just
yes.
like you?
Love Ashley Paulson. I did one of her workouts like iFit. I made an exception because I love her so much. She's so much fun. I've seen her do her ultra marathons. She's such a badass.
Well, let's get into you because you're a badass, and your resume that you sent me is badass. And not
I
many
can't
people
believe
send me a resume.
498 races. Is that correct? That is mind blowing. Absolutely mind blowing.
I started a long time ago, so I had the years on me to my benefit.
The numbers look great.
1996 to present, you have done 498 races, 328 of them ranging from 1 to 10 miles. I love the stats, like 78 of those in costume, 51 half marathons, 16 in costume, 44 marathons, 17 in costume, and 24 ultra marathons, 17 of them in costume. Yuki, when I learned more about you in the past couple of years, I had no clue. When I asked you to come on for Boston Weeks, it was like, it's because she wears like the unicorn outfit and she runs Boston every year and you have all those Boston medals. I had no clue about this resume. Like, holy moly.
Super impressive. Super impressive.
I've been around for a while.
So Yuki, let's start back at the beginning. You said you started racing in 1996. What brought you to that point where you started running races? Did you race in school or what did you do for sports? Tell us about growing up.
Yes. So growing up, I was very active. I'm an only child. So my parents had me into everything because I really didn't have anything going on. So I did every sport under the sun, softball, soccer. I was a cheerleader. I actually took painting lessons. I took piano and flute lessons. I literally did
Oh, wow.
everything. I was into everything. And, it wasn't until I was in freshman year of high school that I found field hockey. And then it was all about field hockey, and I wanted to play in college. So I did, some research, like what do I need to do to get into college and play hockey there? And they didn't have year-round field hockey like they do now. Like there's club sports, but in the 80s, you really played it that season, and then you never really picked up a stick or did anything to stay in shape. So I joined the track team, and I know that a lot of people, join the track team because you want to stay in shape. I wanted to get better. So I did a little bit of running there, but to be on I ended up playing at field hockey at Holy Cross.
Hmm.
But to be on the
Ooh, you
team,
good.
you had to run 4 miles in 32 minutes to be, and that was the first thing you did at tryouts or preseason. So that's when I kind of decided, well, I have to run 4 miles. I have no idea how to run 4 miles. I was a sprinter. I only joined a
Okay.
track, and I signed up to be a sprinter because it was the least amount of running I'd have to do to be on the team. So I wasn't even really, and I wasn't even good. It was terrible,
So
but
this
I was
4
just doing
miles
it.
you're looking at was just like, oh no, I have to really get into this
Oh,
now. So
yeah, I totally freaked out. So I was able to do it. I able to run 4 miles, but it was miserable and I didn't enjoy it. So I wouldn't say I really got into running.
Mm.
That didn't get me into it. But and then after college, I went to Japan for a couple of years, and and when I came back from Japan, I moved back in with my parents, and it was at that point that was '95, and they were big runners at the time. And
Okay.
so I came back. I was kind of having a little bit of reverse culture shock when you move to another country and come back. It's kind of weird because you get acclimated there, you come back here, and I didn't know what I was doing with myself. And they said, "Come and do some races, join the running club." And I said, "All right, I'll do this running thing." And they got me to some 5Ks, and that was in '96, and that's where you start seeing all these race results because I had nothing else to do, and my parents, all they did was go to races. They were in their 50s, and all they did was hang out with their friends and go to pub runs and road races. And I
So
said,
they were
they're
good
like,
influences on you.
yes, I probably wouldn't have gotten into running if it were not for them. So that's really where it all started.
Excellent.
What were you doing in Japan?
I was teaching teaching Japanese. Now I was teaching English in Japan. I was and also learning about culture. My dad is from Japan, so my whole
Oh wow.
family, his 6 brothers and sisters, and my cousins are all in Japan. So I thought it was a great opportunity to get a job over there, just to kind of get to see them and spend some time with them. And I
That's
lived by
so
myself in an
cool.
apartment.
That's so
Yeah.
cool. So your dad's from Japan. Did he come here and meet your mom?
Yeah, so he moved well, actually in Canada. I was born in Canada
No
originally because,
way.
yeah,
Explains the
Vancouver.
hockey, even though it's on the field.
My dad loves hockey too. He's a big Bruins fan. But he moved here from Japan. He grew up in Japan. He moved here when he was like mid 20s to University of British Columbia to get his master's degree. And my mom was in Vancouver getting her nursing degree. And they just happened, they met there, they hit it off, and there I was born. And then that's how it came to be. And my name is Yuki, so that's Japanese name. So that's where that comes
Amazing.
from.
So, all right, a whole nother world of questions now I have. Your dad's from Japan. He meets your mom in Canada. You're born in Canada. So you're a Canadian, but you're Boston Bruins fans, which is great because we beat the
Yeah.
Canucks in the finals like 12 years ago. How did you end up over here on the East Coast in New Hampshire? Or where did you go next? When you were a kid,
Yeah.
where did you move around? Were you playing field hockey in Canada? Were you were you in the States? Where were you?
Well, I wasn't in Canada for long. I was born in Vancouver, and we were there for a couple of years. And then once my dad got his degree, he got a job over in Tokyo. So we actually ended up moving from Canada to Tokyo for 3 years. And I went to school there till I was 8 years old. And then
Hmm.
when I was 8, we moved back. My dad got transferred to Nashua. So I would say from Nashua is where I kind of consider my hometown, just because I was there from 8 years old on. But we did move around in the beginning there for quite a bit.
What was your first language then?
It was both English and it was English, but when I actually went to a Buddhist kindergarten in Japan where I was the only Caucasian person there. So here's a kindergartner. I got thrown into a Buddhist school with no one. So I learned Japanese very quickly. Yeah.
And you still speak Japanese fluently, right? I'm
Well,
guessing.
I'm
Oh, I'm
pretty
hoping.
rusty. When I
Are
was over
you?
there after
Ah,
not I wish. I actually
do you
taught
know where I'm going
Japanese.
with this?
No, I
We
don't know
could
where
do
you're going.
we can do on the runs tour groups to the Tokyo Marathon every year, led by Yuki. And we can all go run the Tokyo Marathon and have you, like, people will pay us. Look at this, me trying to make money here for the first
we're
time
putting
ever.
Yuki on the payroll already. Here we
Yeah,
go.
yeah, you
This
could
is
be
gonna
our
be fun.
fourth employee because we're 1 and 2, pterodactyls number 3, and we'll just go on yearly trips to Tokyo and bring you with us, and you can be not so much our tour guide, but like just our voice, in our ears and everything. This
Yes,
is
I would
so
love that.
cool. That's what I
I
love
love
about this. I
Tokyo.
had no clue about any of this. That's why I love doing this.
Yeah, I was a Japanese teacher. I went over there after college to get my certification. That was really the main purpose, and then I came back.
And when you came back and joined your parents at all the run clubs, you are in New Hampshire then at that time, right?
I was, yes.
And
I
you
was in
fell
New
in love
Hampshire.
with New
Yes.
Hampshire.
And also Eric.
Yes.
When did you meet Eric?
Eric, I met in 1998. So that was a few years into my running career there at Fidelity Investments. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I know Eric runs now, but I didn't know if he was a part of the running crew that you met back then or anything like that.
No, Eric was not into running or exercise much. He was an ex-soccer player who had multiple knee surgeries,
Oh
so he
no.
wasn't into running, but I dragged him along to be my spectator, and then he just said, "You know what? I'm just going to go out and sign up for these things because I'm being dragged to these things every weekend," and he
He
just
can't
didn't want
let
to
you
be.
have all the fun.
No. And I had no idea he was going to like it so much as he did, so he fell in love with it
Good.
as well.
Well, that's awesome. So signing up for things, let's go to your first. So you did a lot of like small races with your parents, but what was your first big race?
My first big race was the Applefest Half Marathon in Hollis. It was in
Oh.
1996. I'd never done anything more than a 10K at that point, but I wanted to challenge myself. And my dad said, sign up for this race. So I trained with him and some of his friends from the running club. So that was really, I was so stressed out for that race. But it was at that race that I realized after that race, my dad came up to me and he said, you know what, Yuki, with your time, you could qualify for the Boston Marathon. And
Oh, he planted the
he
seed.
planted that seed, and I said, "You think?" Like it was that moment where I'm like, "I think I can do this." Like you don't know what you're capable of, like if you're really what your marathon time's going to be, but when you run a half marathon, that's when you kind of get an idea of what your marathon would look like. So I think he might have been waiting to see what my outcome would be from that race. He never said it. He only said it after I finished the Applefest half marathon, but I think he might have been waiting for me to, to see if I had it in me to do that. So,
And Hollis is hilly. Like you might get some downhills, but you definitely got the uphill.
That's a tough race. The end is where the hills are in that race.
Oh,
is it still around? Is that race still happening?
No, unfortunately not. I can't remember. It might have been 2011, 2012 might have been the last year they held it.
Well, maybe we just need to talk to some people and bring it back. Bring back Yuki's first race.
Yep, I'll never forget that one.
Bummer, but I'm like, the hills at the end, it's always what kills you. Oh man.
So what was it like then compared to today? Like then did you didn't have the technology, or you probably didn't have the gels or the food, the nutrition or the knowledge that we have now. What was it like then being so fresh? And it's probably good being fresh and just going out there and running and drinking water maybe.
Yeah, I think back then there wasn't the internet really all that much, so I had a lot of books. I was reading all these books, how to train for races and just anything. I like to research things if I'm not familiar with it. And my dad was probably, I never had a coach, but my dad, I would say, was my coach because he was always telling me what to do because he had already done a couple marathons by that point. So he was kind of always telling me like, you're going out too fast, you need to have these carbs, you need to do this. So it was nice to have somebody that I could count on to, share that knowledge with me because I had no idea what I was doing because I just remember my first 5K just going out of the gate like I was sprinting a 100-meter dash. And, you have no idea what you're doing. I'm so clueless. But thankfully, my dad was there.
Good. Everybody makes that rookie mistake, so don't feel bad about it. But yeah, it must have been nice to have him kind of guiding you along on the beginning of your journey.
We still make those rookie mistakes. Let's be honest.
All the time. Oh yeah.
We
still
all
have
do.
not nailed it. So Applefest came and went. what was your next race that you had on the calendar? Did you go right for that, trying to qualify for Boston, or what were some of your other races that you did to lead up to it?
I did all kinds of, again, my parents were so into this running scene. They were big into the running community. I was always doing races. But after that Apple Fest one, I said, I'm doing it. I'm running a marathon. So I decided, come January, I'm going to start training for an April marathon. So the
Which one
following
did you pick?
spring. Well, it's a one called Fred's Marathon. I don't even know if it's around anymore. It was at Fort Devens, and you ran around, the base in circles. I think there was 100 people. Like the finish line was a white chalk line with two cones. That's how basic it was, and there's
Yeah,
no
no
chip
frills.
timing. No
Oh,
frills. It was 97, and I did this marathon, and I trained all winter. My dad trained with me. I was like hell bent on qualifying for Boston because my dad was going to be running it, and I
yeah.
said, he's like, you can run, if you qualify, we'll run the 98 Boston together. So I had
Oh,
this motivation. I'm like, oh my God, I never thought I'd run a marathon, let alone oh my God, I'm going to get to run with my dad. So I need to qualify. So I did everything I could. And it was almost a disaster. I carbo loaded a bit too much the night before. And I don't know if anyone's had that experience, but it's never good when you have too much pasta before a marathon. You need to
Yuki,
find that
come to the
balance.
right place. You have come to
Yeah.
the right place.
Yeah, I made the rookie mistake, and through in the middle of it I had to stop, and I was stopped for a while, and my dad
Oh,
was following on a bike, and he's like, what's going on? I'm like, I can't get out of the bushes. It
oh
was
no.
awful. I was in a bush in Fort Devens in front of, I don't even know if it was someone's house. It was awful. It
Oh,
was so, thank God there's no Ring cameras back then. But
true.
I came out of there and I had already lost 5 minutes, and I'm thinking, I'm just watching my BQ just dwindle
Oh,
away because I
yeah.
just was having so many issues. And it ends on a hill. A bunch of people from my running club were there because they knew my only purpose was to qualify for Boston in this little race, and I did it. I did it with 3 minutes to spare.
Oh, wow.
I crossed the finish line. I collapsed. I'm bawling my eyes out. My parents are bawling their eyes out. Everyone's just clapping. The 10 people that were at the finish line for me, and nobody else. It was just a few people, but I literally, I'm on the ground, in front of the finish line, just thinking I'm going to run the Boston Marathon.
That's so exciting.
Who qualifies their first marathon? I didn't think it was going to happen.
Well
Do you
done.
remember
Well
what your time was back then? Because I don't know what the BQ times were, and usually
It
everyone
was
remembers their first.
3:37.
Three
3:40 was
37.
qualifying.
Wow.
excellent.
Yeah. Back then, that was the qualifying time. Yeah.
Did you have to worry about any, you know how now they have cutoffs? You have to be 5 minutes under in order to, so it was
Yeah.
just you qualify and you're in.
Yeah, sometimes I'd almost forget to register. January would roll around, and my dad's like, "Did you register for it?" I'm like, "No, not yet. I'll get around to it." It was this open registration, kind of like any road race. You
Yeah,
basically
yeah,
just registered. Sometimes I'd register in February for the April race because it wasn't like it is today. There's no
definitely.
buffers.
No competition. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Wow.
your
That's a different time.
So your first big race was the half marathon. And your
Yeah.
dad's like, "You can do this, Yuki." So you go out there and besides having a little minor code brown, you get into the Boston Marathon. And so your second marathon is with your dad in the 1998 Boston Marathon.
Oh,
With my dad, yes. It was surreal. I never thought, because the first time we even knew about the Boston Marathon or had seen my dad in it was in 1993. So
mhm.
I went there. I was a junior in college, and he was running it. It was going to be his first Boston Marathon. So I was there for my dad's first as a spectator watching him. And I remember sitting there. I was at Holy Cross at the time. My boyfriend went to Boston College, so we decided we would watch him at BC, from BC, at the top of Heartbreak Hill as he was coming across campus. And we're waiting there. And as we're waiting there, I just remember seeing people and thinking, this is freaking nuts. These people are freaking crazy. I go, I don't have any desire. But there was this small little piece of me that was like, but what if I could do this? Like, how awesome would that be? I'm like, I hate running, but like this is like the whole, when you've been there, right? So
Yep.
when you're there, you're kind of like, you feel it's so inspired. And then I was also nervous for
Absolutely.
my dad because someone old like him shouldn't be running a marathon. Granted, I'm his age now, but like my dad's old. I don't know why he's doing this. Why do old people have to do these crazy things? He's going to have a heart attack. And so there was that. But then I saw him come over and he just looked so fresh. And I hopped on the tee. We went to the finish line and I saw him finish. And then it was from there, I was like, wow, this would be so cool. I mean, I didn't know then that 5 years later, I would be actually running with him.
Mm-hmm.
But just to think back to that day when all I thought about was how crazy it was, but maybe, maybe someday I'll be able to, I have no idea when, but it would be kind of cool to be a part of this whole experience because I've seen on TV. It's much different when you're there in person though.
Oh, absolutely. That is
Yeah.
such a cool thing. I want to hear more about that race that you and your father did together. So
Yeah, take us back to race day. Your first marathon with your dad. You do Boston still today. Like, and what are some of the big differences from then and now? But like,
Good
let's go back to race
question.
day, as we always say, spare no details.
So race day comes, we take a bus down with our running club, the Gate City Striders. So I go with my dad, and he's done this before, so he's showing me the ropes. We had a house at that point down, like, in Hopkinton. So we went to see some friends, and they had a party going on. So we kind of hung out there. And back then, you could just walk up to the center of Hopkinton. Like you can't really do that. So we got off the bus, we walked up. They have corrals now, and you have to go through this inspection area to get to the corrals. But back then,
Mhm.
we just walked up and down. We took photo ops right where all the starting line is. It
Oh
was no big
yeah.
deal. So yeah, there was, and right now there's porta potties there. They used to put buses there, so that's where our club would park, right where the corrals were. So
Hmm.
it was great. We just hung around. And we got to the starting line together. It wasn't as strict as it was back then. So my dad and I got to, start together. The only thing with this particular one though is I was so nervous at my second race that I didn't want to screw anything up. That
Mhm.
like a few days before, and this is perfect for your podcast when I was thinking about it because this first Boston was like just epic in so many ways. But I decided that I didn't want to have an incident like I did the first Boston at Fred's where I carbo loaded and there was too much in there and I needed to get rid of it all.
Let it out.
So
Yep.
a few days earlier, I did an enema. I'm going to just
Oh, you-
get rid of all of this. So I
oh
thought I needed to make sure I was completely empty. Like,
no.
why not? It's like getting a colonoscopy. You go in and there's nothing there. So if I go to the starting line with nothing there, we won't have any issues. So I thought, so like I kind of tried to plan it. Yeah, this is all my idea. It wasn't like I had looked this up or researched this. So I had no idea what I
Still
was
no
doing.
Yeah.
internet.
There's still no internet. I'm like, there's no book on this, but I'm thinking, how can I go to the starting line and not have any worries about
You're like,
getting to the
maybe I
porta
could write the book on this.
potties? Let's just try it out. So, I'm like, I'll experiment a little bit, I'll be the first one. So I did it. I think I did it like on a Saturday and, I come Monday, I thought everything would be fine, but I still needed to eat some. So I'm like, well, I'll eat some, but by then it won't get there yet. I had this all timed out. Well, we get to there. We're in the middle of the race. And I'm like, things are moving around. I'm like, what's going on? There shouldn't be anything happening. So
Oh no.
I had to stop twice in the Boston Marathon. And these days, there's no porta potties at every mile. Like if you go this, they didn't have them then.
Few and far between.
They were few and far between back then in 98. So I had to, one stop was next behind a truck and there's no coverage at the Boston Marathon. We're in cities or you're in little towns. I don't know. So I went behind a truck one time and then we were running along and then there was a rock wall. So then I hopped over the rock wall. I think it was a golf course or a cemetery. Not sure what it
Oh
was, but it
boy.
was rock wall. Like I go here. My dad, my poor dad, he's waiting. Like he could have run it much faster, but he waited for me because we had a plan to stick together.
Yeah.
And he's faster runner than me at this point, so he's standing there waiting in the sidelines while I'm doing my business. I hop back out. We finally go through it. We get to the finish line. We cross 4 hours, 0 minutes, 0 seconds, like on the dot,
Oh
hand in
wow.
hand. So we got it done. It wasn't easy. Lessons were learned, but we
Sure
were
made it
together.
memorable. That's for sure.
Yes, it was.
Who was at the finish line? Was your mom there? Was your run club? Did you have more people than at Fred's?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
was the and what was the finish line like back then in the 90s?
Yeah, it was like going from one extreme to the other. The one where like there's 10 people versus thousands of people. It was big, not as big as it is today, and it was a lot easier to kind of maneuver back then. So my mom, most of the friends were at our running club has a hotel room at in Kenmore.
Oh,
So all that they're just waiting for us there. So we didn't really have a lot of people down at Boylston. So my dad and I would really just hop on the T, or we'd walk back to Kenmore where our big hotel room, our party was there. We have showers, food, drinks,
that
which
sounds
is nice. You
amazing.
share stories with your other club mates.
Did you share your story from that day? You're not going to believe
No.
what happened to me, you guys.
Yeah,
Twice.
I think I was too ashamed. I don't think I even shared that story for like a decade.
Well, thank you for bringing it back for us.
So your
Yes.
dad kept your secret for 12, 10 years or so.
Well, he's had his share of troubles, so I don't think he has any. He can't be.
We're runners. We all go through it. Everybody knows.
He's a good dad. That's what he is.
Yes.
So that was the start. And looking at you right now, you're wearing the Boston Marathon shirt. You got, God, how many medals there? Over 20
lot.
behind you above your head of the Boston Marathon. How many have you run the Boston Marathon every year since that race in 98?
No, I did not. There's actually a 5-year hiatus in there. I ran 98, 2000, there was one missing, but the last one I did was 2022. I have a really terrible memory, but between 2024 and 2008, I did not run any marathons or any Bostons during that time. It's kind of like that. I always think of my running as before kids and then after kids because I
Okay.
had my daughter in 2004. And from 2004 to 2008, I think I was just in mommy mode. I
Mhm.
really wanted to focus my time with, I have 2 daughters, one who's 19 and one who's 16, but I don't know, I just wanted to be with them. I didn't want to
That
run.
makes so much sense.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I did some running, but marathons are a whole different animal. It takes a lot of time and commitment, and I didn't want to take away from that. I probably could have if I really wanted to, but I really didn't want to. So I'd
Yeah,
rather have
you
done
had your
such.
focus had to shift. I mean, that was
Yeah.
totally expected. So, yeah, good for you. And then
Yeah,
you
kids
but
are
you
a
did
lot.
get back into it, that's for sure.
It's
Erica only has to
exhausting.
deal with 2 cats. I have 3 kids and 2 of them are in toddler mode right now. So they're a
I
handful. That is for
appreciate you.
sure.
I will tell every parent out there, you're doing wonderful. I appreciate everything you're doing. Keep raising the future generations. You're awesome.
Well, we'll come back to running and we'll come back into like where you got the bug again to run around 2008 when your kids got a little older. But the other thing you're really well known for is your costume design. Like, when did this start? When was this passion project of like, we're not talking you buy something on Amazon and you're Princess Peach for a day around Halloween. You go all out on your costumes. When did this start?
So, well, it didn't start out all out crazy. That evolved into that, which I have no idea how this got to be. It's kind of gotten off the rails, I think, but there's not much I can do about it anymore because I'm kind of in the thick of it. But the costume thing all started is it from Girls on the Run,
Mm.
from my coaching days,
Oh,
because
awesome.
prior to that, I wasn't really into. I mean, it was all about running, to be fast and PRs and things, and wearing aerodynamic clothing and things like that. But um, in 2013. I was kind of at that point with my running where I really wasn't sure what I was doing. Like, what is the meaning of all this? I was getting kind of burnt out. Maybe I wanted to do something different with my running. I don't
Mhm.
know what it was. I was having this kind of existential like conflict. I don't know. I felt like lost a little bit with my goals. So I heard about Girls on the Run and I said, all right, well, I think I need to give back to the community because I feel like that's what will give me some meaning back to my running. So I called up. There was no Girls on the Run team at the school my daughter went to. So I said, well, I'll just heard about this. It looks like something fun. I want my kids to love running just as much as I do. I have 2 daughters, and Girls on the Run is great. I've heard wonderful things. It's about girl empowerment. It's about self-confidence and making running fun. So I signed up. But then I got to this, I had this issue of, well, how am I going to make running around the school for 20 minutes fun for kids? Like, this is what 10-year-old girls
That really
want to
is the
do
question,
that.
right?
Yeah, I didn't like it when I was 10, so I thought but, my daughters love dressing up. Like, people would come to our house and we had buckets of, like, Disney princess dresses. Like, every time we went to the Disney store, it was like we were buying another Disney princess dress, it felt like. So, and they would do these costume shows and fashion shows, and I would get into it too just because I'm like, I wanted to be the fun mom. So,
Yeah.
anytime we had people over, we'd all dress up, and I thought, this is great. This is what I'm going to do for Girls on the Run. Like, we're going to make this like crazy fun. We're going to like put on face gems and we're going to put on tutus and we're going to run and have fun. And the girls loved it. Like, I think it just was something to make them feel like running wasn't just running around in circles at the school. It was about, we were going to do this 5K and we were going to go as a team. We were going to like it didn't start out that way. We started small with a tutu, crazy socks, and then as the seasons progressed, we were like, we'd bring on face gems, we'd do hairspray glitter, we wouldn't like you know the
I'm
more
gathering
bright.
ideas for myself. I'm like, I need glitter. Keep going.
Yes, you can never have too much glitter, so we just went all out, and it was fun for the kids and they loved it. So I just kept doing it. But what I didn't realize that in me trying to make running fun for them, it was actually making it more fun for me. And that's when I started thinking, you know what, running in this tutu was actually a whole lot of fun. Like, I had more fun than the kids did, I think, like at the end of the day. So I thought, let's just keep it going. Let's just do this at another race that's not Girls on the Run 5K, because that's what we did for years at Girls on the Run 5K. We wore capes, and one year, oh my gosh, this is going back to the unicorn thing. It was 2015. We did that year for Girls on the Run the unicorn theme, and we were going to be rainbow unicorns. But back then, you could not find a unicorn horn. I swear to God.
Really?
Now you go into Walgreens and there's a unicorn horn. Back then,
Everywhere.
you can't get
I have
away from
12 in
it.
my house right now.
It's crazy. There's unicorn horns everywhere. But back then, when we wanted to be unicorns, we couldn't find them anywhere. I went on Amazon, I went on eBay, and my coach, my friend and I who were coaching, were like, how are we going to do this? We want to be unicorns, but we don't have horns. So we literally had to go to Michael's and buy these styrofoam cones. And we
Oh,
had to
wow.
we didn't know what to do with them. So then we took people's hair and we were twirling it around and we'd spray it. Like, it was very these I
No,
look at
I'm
him now, I'm
loving
like,
it.
these sad unicorn horns we had because we couldn't find any and we didn't know what to do. But so now they're everywhere. But that was our first big like unicorn themed run that I ever did with my styrofoam unicorn horn on a headband, like
Is that
glued
what
on.
started your nickname? The Yuki corn?
Yes, yeah, we the Yuki corn,
I
yes.
love it. Super fun.
So was the unicorn because of Boston though, or was that just something you loved? Because like Boston has that's the unicorn on the medal.
She's got a
Were they
couple of spikes
related, or
behind her
were they
too.
separate?
Spike the unicorn.
Yeah, it didn't start well, it started with Girls on the Run, like being rainbow unicorns, like being magical. It wasn't
Yeah.
Boston at that point. It was more about, 10-year-old girls, we all love unicorns and rainbows, so that's where the rainbow unicorn came in. And the unicorn for Boston didn't actually happen until the 2018 Boston, wherein I decided, well, and that's where we did the 2016 kind of the Rainbow Unicorn Girls on the Run. And then in 2018, I decided, let's do a Boston unicorn. Like, I'm going to be a unicorn, but let's make it like a Boston themed unicorn. So that's where it transitioned over to the Boston unicorn.
By the way, I know exactly like the costume that you're talking about because I'm pretty sure like the BAA was like, you are our poster child for the Boston Marathon, and you and that beautiful like glitter and blue and yellow. And oh man, I just remember seeing that and I was like, you are so much fun. This is awesome. I
It-
aspire to be like you.
it's beautiful, and you see, like, you're on WMUR last year. I know, like, magazines and stuff and other articles are coming out about you. But let's go back to some of those first races dressed up in a costume that's not, or maybe that is Girls on the Run. But let's talk about, like, what's the first. You do a lot of millennium races. Like, what's one of the
Right.
first races like that you do when you're dressed up and you're the only one dressed up? Are you out there with all this confidence and you're like, I own this? Or are you a little nervous and got some anxiety? Like, what's everyone going to think of my costume?
So I do a lot of the millennium races. They're easy because they're themed. Well, the first one I did, I guess before doing a lot of them, I've wore the costume. So I never really felt, I just felt like, and I've always been kind of weird wearing whatever I want. Like in junior high, I used to wear crazy things to school to the point where people would be like, people would go to my mom and say, "Are you? I don't know how you're letting Yuki go to school dressed like that." Like,
Oh, really?
yeah, yeah. I never had a problem being different.
You have
I'm
your
I
not
own
was
sense
known.
of
surprised. You got
style. That's all
confidence.
that matters.
No,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if it's confidence. I just wanted to express myself. So my mom would always have
Good.
to respond, "I'm letting her express herself. I'm not going to tell her what to wear." And I was never, no one's going to tell me what to wear anyways, because I was a 12-year-old. But so I would dress what I wanted to wear. So I guess when I show up and I'm the only one in a costume, I'm not really bothered by it. I think it's fun. It's what I want to wear. It's what I feel comfortable in when I'm running, um, in the costume. So
And
That's
most of the
awesome.
time, you.
I'm happy you do, and I'm glad you do. But then the follow up to that is, how do you make these costumes fit you well for running?
that's the tricky part. They have to be functional, um, but they also have to be fashionable. So, and a lot of my costumes are repurposed dance costumes. So a lot of
Ah.
them are made for movement. So it's easy. I just kind of add to them. Other times they're just regular clothing that I just bling, add rhinestones to.
You
But I
are
do
the
have to.
bedazzling queen. I love it.
I wish I loved doing it as much as I liked them on the costumes. It
I
is
can
a
only
pain in the
imagine
ass.
how time consuming it actually is.
I do not enjoy the rhinestoning all that much, to be
Well, let me just
honest.
tell you, the finished product is awesome. So
Thank
whatever
you.
work you put into it looks great.
It's worth it, I guess.
Yes,
But
yes.
it's a lot of work. It adds weight to the costume as well.
Oh,
You wouldn't.
I never would have thought of that.
Well, when there's thousands of them, it does add up. When
That makes sense.
not
Yes.
that many on there, but
Wow.
yeah, the some of the costumes you have to check. So I always do a costume check on the treadmill. I'll put the costume on and I'll run a
Smart.
mile or two just to see if there's any chafing, if there's chafing, if I where I need to lube up or do like cut some pieces
Yeah.
off. So I think I've learned that early on that you should always do a dress rehearsal like dancers
Nothing new on
do.
race day. Yes. Mhm.
Right. What you're going to wear on
Smart.
race day, always try it out. Even with the regular, clothing, people should be doing that. So
Mhm.
What would you say was your most, I don't want to say difficult costume to make, but maybe frustrating? Like it took way too long, or you ran into issues, or you built it, then you tested it and it didn't work the way you wanted, and it just became frustrating. But you're like, I want to do this. And have you ever like said, screw it, I'm gonna pull out a different costume or something?
well, as we're talking rhinestones, yeah, any of those rhinestone costumes are super miserable to do. Like, and I'll tell you why. It's the E6000. It's like it's a cancer causing glue that you have to use to put these
Oh.
damn stones on your costume.
Oh no.
But you're supposed to be in a well ventilated, it says it right on the tube. Use a well ventilated room. You have to have fans. You got to wear a mask, like and everything, which I don't do. So of course, there's been times
Oh
when
no.
I've actually been doing it and it for too long, so I can only do it for like 2 hours at a time. And
Mhm.
some of these things can take 10, 20 hours to stone a costume. Like
Whoa.
it took me 2 months to do my Boston 2022 costume. It took
Oh
me
my
2 months.
gosh.
It probably was 30 hours worth of work that I put into this stoning costume. And it was just, if you mess up and the spacing's wrong and it's just nerve wracking and everyone's like, just do it quickly. Because of the fabric, you can't use some of the glue guns or the hot glue or the hot fix.
Oh, it'll burn some like right through the fabric. Yeah, makes sense.
There's chiffon involved, so you can't you got to use this glue that's
Oh,
or else and the
wow.
stones fall off. So I have to make sure that you use this glue because it goes through the wash. You can put these costumes and the stones don't fall off. You use a cheaper glue, those stones are coming off, so your work's all done. And not that I'm
You
wearing
can
or
only
using
use
the
it once
costumes.
though, right? But you want the option to if like you could repurpose it into something else. Yeah.
Yeah. So the stoning of costumes is certainly frustrating and miserable. The second one was this fall fairy costume I did for the New England Half Marathon. It was an actual corset that I bought and added fall foliage leaves to it.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
but the corset had bones in it, so it was an actual real corset. So when I was running the race, I couldn't breathe, and I actually got like lightheaded. And then the foliage leaves were causing chafing, so I was bleeding under my arms. It was really a bad
Oh,
situation.
no.
Yeah,
Oh. Well,
I
it
wished
sounds
I'd
like
never
it's a
done it.
huge labor of love just to put these costumes together, but they come out incredible. They look awesome. So your work,
Thank
it's worth
you.
it.
I love art. I love projects and crafts
Well, it's a
and
good thing, or else you wouldn't have half of these awesome costumes because that's a lot of time. Like it's like a part-time job basically working on these costumes.
You must have like a dedicated room for this because I have learned very well living in a house that needs to be bigger that glitter is the herpes of the arts and crafts world. It gets everywhere and it doesn't go away. Like you need a dedicated room for all this. And I'm looking through your Instagram right now, and it looks like you do have a spot to do all this in your house.
I do, but sometimes I get bored and I want to be in the living room at the TV, or sometimes in a hotel room. I mean, there's literally glitter all over our house. There's glitter all over my car. There's just glitter everywhere. Like we live in it. Ask my husband. He's like,
How
"Oh,
how does Eric deal with it? I
oh
need to
God,
know for other Erics out there.
he has glitter like daily on his clothing. Like we don't even know where it comes from. He's just learned to live with it. I mean, he's
Well, you know
Acceptance.
what? I'm not a fan of strip clubs, but they're awesome for people watching. But he could go every day and be like, "No, honey, it's from you." It's a perfect built-in excuse for someone who goes to
oh,
those places all the time.
you're right. I never really thought of
Yeah.
it that way.
Maybe he's been doing it for the last like
Oh.
20 years and you have no clue.
That's why he hasn't stopped me from all the rhinestoning and glittering.
All right. So you said you put in a few months to some of these costumes, but I'm looking at a photo and you not only put the rhinestones on the costumes, but it looks like you put them on your actual skin. Like this one's on your foreheads here. And
Yeah.
you even have a GoPro recording you, or at least I think it is. So how long do you have to prep on race day when you do makeup type of preparation?
Yeah, makeup is depending on the race. Boston, the makeup takes an hour. Just putting on makeup. Oh, yeah,
Oh, there
I am.
you are. Wow, that
Yes.
is elaborate.
Yes. Well, it's a lot
Oh,
of
it's
prep.
gorgeous.
You can't put makeup on your face immediately. You got to prep the skin. You've got to do all kinds of like primers. Then you got to
Mhm.
put the makeup on, and then you've got to put the finishing spray on, and then from there you've got to apply the jewels and face gems. It's a process. Yeah,
Was
but
that
it's fun.
particular picture you getting ready for Boston? Or was that a different race?
No, that was just me showing them, the Chronicle folks, like what it would look like what
Oh,
my
Oh,
prep would look like. Yeah.
awesome.
have you ever had any like makeup or gems on your skin issues during a race? Like how has that worked out for you?
Yeah, does it stay on if you get sweaty? Like I'm very curious about that too.
Well, the first time I did Boston with my face gems, 2017, I put them like all over my forehead. Half of them fell off, so they were like half on, half off. And I was so pissed because I got to the finish line, got my medal, and I got my finish line photo. But I'm like, the gems are off. Well, what can I do there? They're gone. But I
Yeah.
wanted to have this finish line photo with my medal, with these perfect gems that I had painstakingly put on my face. So then I learned I'm going to use glue. I'm going to glue them on with eyelash glue. So then I used
Oh,
that and
okay.
eyelash glue. They're not going to come off. Yeah. So I
Excellent.
put
So how do
eyelash
you
glue
get
and
them
then
off?
Oh,
Well, they come
sometimes
off
they just stay on for
eventually,
weeks.
but
Yeah, eventually.
Really? Really? I mean, yeah, you could rock it. I would rock it.
Why not?
have you ever rolled up to work after a race like the next couple of days with like them still stuck on you?
Yeah. I've had glitter. I've gone in with glitter, and
So they just know, they're like, we're just not going to ask any questions.
they know.
That's
Yeah.
Yuki.
Yep.
What about when you're not running? Like when you're dressed, but now you got to get to the race, and then after the race, like how careful do you have to be not to ruin your outfit before and after the race? Like you hold on to a lot of these. I think you have like a really epic closet of all these costumes. You probably have to take a lot of care before and after the race too. You can't just be like, "Oh, I'm taking my shirt off."
Well, actually, it might look that way. I'm a complete disaster. Ask Eric. There's no organization whatsoever. Like I'll have a costume sitting there, like I'll rip it off and it's off on the ground. And then beforehand, he's like, I'll lose things. I'm like, where did the costume go? And we're usually wasting all this time with me running around, like a tsunami in the house. Like pieces of my costume are all over the place, and the race is going to happen, and that's why we're usually running like crazy to get to a race, because half the time I'm not organized and I'm missing a glove or like a
Ugh.
whatever it is, because I don't plan ahead. I think I know where something is. I'm like, yeah, I got something. Like I had my Boston costume for this year in January, and I just want to make sure, knowing me, I'm going to probably misplace it, and who knows where it's going to be come like the race weekend. Like, where did I put that? With Christmas gifts that you kind of hide, you get them
Yep.
early and then you put them aside. That's me. I'm like, I don't know what I did with it. I tried to put it
You
somewhere
find them months
special.
later after
Yeah,
Christmas, and you're like, "Oh yeah."
that's me. I do that with costumes.
Now it looks like Eric gets dressed up with you sometimes too. I see him dressed up in a Santa costume, and this one he's Buddy the Elf. It also looks like you're Princess Anna and Kristoff. He gets dressed up too. How did you get him to take part?
Well, he's a good girl dad. He's got the two, like he's in a house with three, well, he calls them his three daughters. There's three girls in the house. I'm like worse than the two girls. He's like, I've got these, three girls. So he was always really a good sport about doing stuff with the kids and dressing up. And, sometimes he'll get into the spirit of it. He knows it. He doesn't like it all that much, but he will do his best. It's
Still very cool.
yeah.
I like
love
that
it.
he's on board.
I
yeah.
love it.
I'm waiting to see you, Eric, in like tutus and makeup.
I mean,
have
I'm waiting.
Adeline deck
We've
you out
made
and
bets in
stuff.
the past, and I'm just like, she's gonna say you have to run in a sparkly skirt, and you haven't done it
You
yet.
do
Now
it,
I'm
I'll
giving
do
you.
it. Come on. I got ones that'll probably fit you. You're fine.
I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for that one. But pretty much right now, she's just like, if I win, you need to pay someone's charity money. I'm like, okay, money. I'd probably.
Wait, why
I
does
would
it have to
rock
be a
the.
bet? Just do it.
Yeah.
One race. We'll pick like a 5K.
No, you gotta go
Tallest
bigger than a
past
5K. It's gotta be
Why?
something themed like what Yuki
Gotta
does.
ease
It's
you into it though.
Iron Man.
no, I'll just dive right in. I'll dive right in. And Iron Man.
There we go.
Yeah, that one. That one costs way too much money to do in a tutu, but maybe one day.
Fine, for the finisher pictures, we'll just give you one to throw on.
Maybe if I run
be
the
fun.
Manchester Marathon this year, maybe, but we'll see. It's if I do hamster wheel, I'll do some laps. That will be me break it in. But there we go.
Perfect.
But
I will
hamster
take it.
wheel is
Yeah.
an ultra marathon, and Yuki, you have done not only 17 ultra marathons dressed up in costume, but you've done like over 24 ultra marathons too. You don't just do 5Ks or Boston marathons; you do it all.
I love the ultra marathon. That is the most fun. The ultra marathon community is the best. I know you
Is
guys
it
know
because
that.
of the snacks?
Mhm.
It really is. Yeah.
One of the reasons.
My first introduction, when I saw the table of snacks with M&Ms and Swedish fish and sour, I was like, "What is this?" And people were stopping. I'm like, "Why are they stopping? Let's go." I didn't get what was happening, but I was like, "This is so freaking cool!" Yeah, that got me.
It is a whole different world from what the marathoners are used to, but God, is it fun? It is so much
Yeah,
fun.
it is.
What was your
It can be
first
intense.
ultra then?
My first ultra was Pineland Farms 50K. It's up in Maine and Gloucester. They still do it, but I think it's by a different ownership. But that was my first one. And that was pretty cool. Once I knew I could do more than 26 miles, I was like, wow, what's going to happen? Am I going to blow up at 26.3 is what's going to happen. But then I realized, I'm
Count it,
still
though.
alive.
That still makes you an ultra marathoner. That extra point, whatever, it still
Right.
counts.
It's true.
But I
But
know
I
you're
fell in
no
love with it.
stranger to ghost train either. You've gotten the railroad spike, I believe, right? What was the year that you first
Yeah.
ran ghost train?
I did the ghost train. I did 75 miles the first year.
That's oh
And
my
I just to
gosh.
see, I didn't want to
Yep.
go for 100 because I didn't want to blow up. So I said, I'm done. They tried to get
Yeah.
me back out there. I said, nope, I'm good. I'll do 100 next year. I just wanted to see, I wanted to do it
Good for
incrementally,
you.
like 50K, 50 miles, 75 miles. I'll do 100, the following year. But that was 2018 was the first year I did my
Awesome.
100 miles at Ghost Train. It was epic. It was the best time I've ever had. I did it in full Sugar Skull makeup
I
that
was going to
stayed
say, I saw
on
that
the whole
picture.
time. That stayed on. I mean, that race. I was on the way to the race. I forgot to eat breakfast. It's 100 miles. I forgot to eat breakfast. I was so busy. That Sugar
Eat.
Skull makeup took longer than expected. So Eric's driving me to the starting line, and
Yes,
I
I
realized
was.
I forgot to put eyeliner on. So of course I'm
Oh,
freaking out. I grabbed a Sharpie in the car, and I'm on the way to
look
yeah.
at you.
My two ghost trains. Yeah, I did a one with the like colorful Sugar Skull, and then I did more of a morbid kind of dark
Ah,
unicorn look, dark unicorn skeleton for the second year I did 100 miles, which was 2022. Yep, 2022.
excellent.
But yeah,
Yeah,
sometimes you forget to eat when you're busy prepping and putting costumes and makeup on.
during my first 100 last year, I think I ate 10 minutes before the race because I was so nervous. I almost forgot. And I was like, I just shoved it in my face and I was like, this is a bad idea. I wish I almost didn't eat, but I totally get it. The nerves and just running around like crazy. But yeah. And I did the Ghost Train Haunted 30 miler for the first time. That was my first
Ah,
Ghost Train this past year.
yeah,
And you were there. But did you only run a little bit? Like you did was it 15 miles or how many did you do last year?
ended up doing 30 miles in the
30.
morning.
Okay,
Yep,
great.
30 miles. I forget it was because I was running the New York City Marathon, and I was also running the
Mhm.
Manchester City Marathon. So I didn't think it would be smart to do 100 miles and then do
Good
two
call.
marathons back to
But you
back
had a
after that.
very nice costume too. You were
Oh,
you
yeah.
from Camp Crystal Lake. Is that am I correct
I
on
was at
that?
yeah, Friday the 13th. Yes, and I even
Perfect.
made a Jason doll, like a Jason figure to bring with me. So he was I bought a mannequin and I made
So fun.
Jason
So
Voorhees
fun.
to go
So
with me.
another ultra before Eric gets carried away. I can't remember if it was last year or 2 years ago, but you did a 72-hour race. Was
Yes,
that the
Notch
one?
View.
Tell me about that. Oh,
That was my second multi-day
Mhm.
ultra marathon. The first one I did was a 66.6 hour treadmill ultra marathon.
Oh my
That one, it was
gosh.
still hard, but it was easier in that I was at home on my treadmill and I could just run 10 hours a day, sleep in my own bed, and get up and run another 50 miles the next day. So I did 350 miles in a row, but on my treadmill. But it wasn't bad because
Wow.
I was watching shows, we put on concerts. Like it was kind of this, it was right after COVID. So it was just one of those weird things we did. But Notch View was actually where I actually went somewhere. I had to put up a tent. I had to
Mhm.
sleep on a cot. It was like the whole thing. You get up, you run all day. You're pretty much up all night. I couldn't sleep at night. I probably slept like 2 hours each night.
Oh wow.
And you're just going at it like all day long. So that was an experience in and of itself. Like,
Didn't you
I,
not have the best weather for that either?
no, I think the first 2 days were okay. The third day was torrential. It was like flooding. The whole place was mud. I actually called it like there's some things I could have been a badass and said I'm going to keep going, but I'm like, you know what? I had blisters all over my feet. I was in a lot of pain, so I didn't see what the point of
Mm.
like ending the rest of my running because I
I
had a lot of
commend you
races
for
to do.
that. Oh yeah. That was just once your feet go, it's so hard to overcome that pain cave. It's I know it's all mental, but that's the whole point of running. You're on your feet, and once those go, it's so difficult to like get past that. But good for you,
Oh, yeah.
Yuki. Good for you.
You should try one though. It's definitely a fun
I
multi-day
probably will
thing.
someday, but I can't fathom I can't even commit to well, I tried a 30 and I only ran for I don't even think I made it that far. So once I can actually get through the
She can't
whole
do
thing.
loops. She loves loop races, but the problem with
I
the loop
do, but I
races, she's
don't.
like, oh, I just did 30 loops. I'm good, but really she wants 10 more. Where when
Mhm.
she did her
It's
first
hard.
100-miler, Yuki, she didn't have the option of taking a break after a loop. It
Mm.
was, you have to keep going
All or
no matter
nothing.
what.
I think those work best for me finishing wise, although I almost quit during that one. I thought I was going to miss cutoffs. But yeah, the loops get me. I'm like, oh, I can sit for a little bit. 3 hours later, I'm like, oh no, this is a bad idea. Yeah, it's tough.
You just need a different strategy on the loop courses. That's all.
I do. Happy to take some tips if you have any.
What are some ultras on your bucket list before we get back into Boston? Because we're going to go back there. We're going to dive
Mhm.
deep. But
Yes.
what are some
Yeah.
other races on your bucket list that you haven't done? Or what's another memorable one you have done that you got a good story about?
Mm. My bucket list is I don't know if you've heard of this one, the Javelina 100.
Oh,
It's
yes.
out in
We've heard about
Arizona.
that one.
The Javelina Jundred.
Javelina, yeah,
Do you want us to come with you? We'll go.
yeah. The costumes look like amazing at that race. Like it just looks like a fun. They have like a costume race at night at some point. But I've seen videos. My friends have done it. I have friends that crew at it. It just looks like, oh my god, Katra Corbett I think is like she does it and she's in costume and that just I've had many people say you have to come and do this with us and so it's on my
You
list.
would, yeah, everybody would be in the same boat. But am I correct in thinking that a lot of the dudes just wear Speedos? I feel like I've seen so many pictures of just the men in
No
Speedos.
wonder why you want to go so bad, Erica.
I mean,
I've
why
seen
not?
that.
Well, Erica, is that the one that Doozer did? And he's in the bathroom and he comes out of the bathroom and he goes, I just went poop. And everyone starts to cheer for him.
It was either that one or it was Burning Man, but I feel like it was
Oh,
Javelina. Was
you
it
would love
Javelina?
Burning Man, Yuki,
That one's
because
very
so many
costume-based.
people dress up at Burning Man.
That looks so fun. Oh yeah. I would
They
fit
have,
right
I
in
think,
there.
they have a marathon and an ultra marathon there, I think, at Burning Man. Yeah, you would fit right in. That would be, oh, I could only imagine what your cost would be for that. You could have some fun at Burning Man.
I would love that.
We'll make it happen. Let's do this. Let's make it
Yes.
happen. We'll go on tour. We'll take your content, and Erica will be your pacer or something like that. Oh, that'd be so cool.
I would be down for that, yes.
You have to go in costume though. Y'all have to be
Oh,
if you're
100%.
my crew,
You
you're in costume.
See, I'm totally on board if I'm with everybody
can't
else.
Okay.
convince me to do that.
Totally on
So
board.
Mhm.
I'll even do one locally with you. We'll do one. We'll do something fun
Yeah.
locally. Yeah. Yeah, especially now that I can do more races that the kids are getting a little more older and out of diapers soon, maybe. We'll see. But
Fingers crossed for you.
that's a work in progress right now. Let's dive deep into Boston, and I want to get little personal, maybe a little emotional. I don't know, but I found a photo of you and your dad, and you said it was your dad's dream to run 20 Boston marathons, but he didn't get to 20. He only got to 17. You did get to 20, and you said this was for you, Dad. Tell me about maybe a little more into you and your dad's relationship and the Boston relationship the two of you had.
Yeah, yeah. So, well, I'm just really proud of my dad because he did not become a runner until he was 50 years old. He
Oh.
was not a runner growing up. So he only started running my freshman year of college because his doctor told him that if he didn't get in shape and lose weight, that he might not see me graduate from college because his high blood pressure was terrible. He was on like meds, a lot of meds all day, and he wasn't healthy. And so I remember we went to the YMCA for his we went and got a personal trainer for him, and I went with him, and we tried to run a mile. Like I said, let's go run a mile down the street, 50, back, and he couldn't do it. And this is in 1990. He couldn't do it, but he wanted to get healthy for me. He wanted to, so he started to come to field hockey games. You could see him running around the track, and everyone's like, "Yuki, your dad's so cute. He's running around the track while we're warming up." I'm like, "I know, my dad's trying to get in shape." Every moment he had, he was trying to work on improving his health so that but he didn't want, he only did it get healthy. So it wasn't like his intention to ever become a marathoner. I think just like most people, you do things because maybe your doctor's, pressing, or, you kind of have that moment where you feel like you need to do something for yourself. And that was him. And so just seeing him progress from not being able to really run a mile to do marathons and qualify for Boston, I was just so inspired by it. So, I think that his dream was to do the 20. So I watched him do a couple, and then we did, I didn't, the 1998 was the one I did with him from start to finish. And that would be the only one I would run the full thing with him. But I always went to all the other marathons. We would go together on the bus. We would be at the marathon. He would do his race, I would do my race, and we would meet together at the end to celebrate at that hotel I was talking about. So we always did that. So I followed him along. So we always had that experience together in Boston, and we'd go out and have sushi after. That was our thing. With my mom would always be there. She would volunteer, and it was like a family thing. Really,
That's awesome.
she would always be there. So and I'm an only child, so we're very close with my family. And so that we trained for a number of Bostons together, even though we didn't run all of them together. But he was always training me, always doing our long runs. I remember him going, Yuki, I'm gonna teach you how to do an LSD. That was his thing. He loved the LSD. Yeah, long slow day or whatever it was. But he thought
I
it
was
was
like,
the
I
funniest
might
ask.
need you to spell it out for me. I don't know if
Yeah,
I've ever called it that before.
I don't
but no,
know.
that's good.
I don't know. People don't call it that anymore. I think it's like not PC anymore. But back in the 80s, he's like, yes, runners do LSD. And it was his joke.
I
Long,
love it.
slow
That's
day.
going to be a thing for us. Watch, we're gonna say that all the time now. We're gonna be like, I had my LSD yesterday. It was good, man. Yeah.
My dad always said that. Yep. He'd be like, we
I
gotta
had
do
a
some
high
LSD.
after my LSD. Yeah,
A
dude.
runner's high, yeah.
Yep. So it has always been a big part of that our relationship was running. And before that, maybe we didn't have a lot in common all the time, but the running piece brought us together. And my mom was a big time runner too, so she ran. She never did a marathon, but she did all the half marathons if we ever did one. So she was a big supporter of ours, always out there. And even after my dad stopped, his last Boston was 2011. And even after that, he still he went to the Bostons. Eric and the kids, they were always at mile 16. It was an easy place to go because there's a huge playground at mile 16.
Oh, perfect.
So my kids
Good
were
to know.
young.
Good to know.
Yes, good to know. So, my kids were young. So when you're bringing like a 3-year-old to Boston Marathon, it's, you're there for hours. So Eric planned this whole thing out. He found this big playground, easy parking in and out. They'd come in and they'd go bring their chairs and they'd cheer me on. My parents would be there. My dad was there every year after that when he stopped running Boston. But that's why I said, he was so disappointed when he couldn't run anymore after his 17th Boston. He was in his 70s at the time, but it just got to the point where his health wasn't, his legs, but he was still running half marathons, 10Ks, and he still runs 5Ks to this day, but marathons, he just had to stop after 2011.
Marathons are just super taxing on your body. So I completely understand. There's a point where it has to, something's got to give. And
right.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but.
So the picture I'm looking at of you and your dad, I think it was from this last year's marathon. Yep, 2023. Picture of you, your dad, and your mom, and you have all your Boston Marathon medals. So do you travel with those to every race? Do they meet you after the race? Because this is obviously at some type of it's probably at your hotel. Because there's the big Boston Marathon BAA banner behind you, and you're all dressed up. And so do you do that every year? Is that like a tradition?
No, that was one time only last year because it was my 20th Boston Marathon. And I thought, oh my gosh, how cool. I don't know if you see like the Disney races, but a lot of the Disney runners will like display their, medals. And I did the Dopey Challenge. And that was probably the best part of that whole experience was having all those medals and then, displaying them on my arm. So I thought, I'm going to do this for my 20th Boston Marathon. And poor Eric, my Eric had the job of holding on to 19 at that point because I was going to get the 20th, but he had the job of carrying the 19 medals all around Boston. Those are heavy. He had a bag, and I think he had to get through security. I hope, to get to the finish line area. I got grandstand seats for him. So I said, Eric, you need to be in the grandstands. When I come by, you need to throw the medals to me from Boylston Street. I don't even know if we're allowed to do that. I probably shouldn't even say this because I'm probably going to get disqualified. But I said, just find me, throw the medals to me. I need to cross the finish line because he wasn't going to be able to get to the finish line area. And I wanted a finish line photo with all my medals, where they have the professional photographers. I need to get that photo. So poor Eric, he tossed them to me. I grabbed them. So
This
if you
is
see a
after
picture,
you cross the finish line.
no, this is before. This
This
is
is
mid-race
before.
on
So wait,
Boylston Street.
you
On
had you
Boylston Street.
crossing the finish line with a bag of medals.
Yes, I'm holding. I don't know where I'm holding a bag, and people are like, "What are you?" I'm like, "That's my bag of medals." I wanted
Is there
them
a
to.
picture of this?
I saw
I gotta find it.
I don't know if I posted that one, but there is a photo. And I think there's a video. Maybe you can see me. I think I posted a video of me crossing the finish line. But you can see in my hand there is a bag. I have a video. I have the video of him throwing me the medals because it was an epic throw. I mean, he threw it because there's a barrier. You can't just. He was in the grandstands. He threw them from the grandstands.
Oh wow!
I'm running, and I knew
You
where he
could
was
have
going to
gotten in
be.
so much trouble. A guy throwing a backpack near the finish
I
line
know.
of the
Oh my
Boston
god.
I
Marathon.
was
I
just
know. I
more
know.
worried, like, what would happen if that hit you wrong and you didn't catch it and it like
I
knocked
know.
you out or something?
It would just gone on the costume malfunction stories number 10. It would have gone on
Yeah.
yep. Yeah, it would have been a legend. Yep.
Oh,
That was
they wouldn't have attacked you. They would have attacked him because they're like, you're trying to kill our unicorn.
yes. Well, imagine that if you got escorted out because of me.
Oh.
Oh my God. Wow,
Oh.
that's a good story. That's a good story. I like that. So you crossed the finish line with the backpack and your medals inside the backpack. You didn't
Mhm.
take them out to be like, look at me and my 19 medals, and then here's my 20th. So you got the photo after though. Is that am I
Yes.
correct here? That's what you did? Oh man.
Yes, yes. I was like, how are we going to do this? I need to get those medals somehow for that photo op. I ended up getting it at the hotel, but I really wanted a picture of it at the finish line right as I crossed
Oh
where they
yeah.
have I wanted it there. I wanted the backdrop of the finish line area for the photo. I was determined to get this. I couldn't run the whole marathon with them. That was a
Oh,
consideration.
you thought the
That would
rhinestones were heavy then.
I
Those would
thought,
have been
I don't know.
a whole
You would have
ballpark.
had to do it like an ultra. You just have the camel pack with all the
Mm.
medals nicely packed in there so they don't shift around. Yeah, you could have, but it would have been cooler if you ran with them. But how would you do that?
I don't
Man,
know. They don't allow camelbacks for
Mm-mm.
the marathon, so I couldn't have.
really?
No, you're not
Mm.
allowed.
She would have just worn them all around her neck and jingled the whole way.
Mhm.
the
No,
whole
you would
26.2.
have to create like a belt where they could sit on the belt, kind of wrapped
Yeah,
up,
rolled
but
up.
it would look really nice at the same
Mm.
time. Future
Yeah,
idea here, maybe.
yeah, like belt buckles, or just
Yeah,
have them
Oh my
yeah.
around like a
god.
belt.
I mean, you have 20 now. You could fit them all the way around, I'm sure.
That is a great costume idea. I'm gonna put
Ooh.
that down on the notes
Oh, I would be
here.
so worried that one would fall off and I'd lose it, and you'd be like, "No,
But
Oh
she
it's
has
so
the
no.
cute."
treadmill and she's going to do the test runs.
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
we'll
I feel
test
better
it out
about it now.
first.
I feel
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. That would be cool. Oh, that would be
Yeah,
so cool.
a metal
You
costume.
you kind of mentioned earlier the press and you've done some media, you're on Chronicle, you're on WMUR. Like you get a lot of attention now every year doing these races. How's that been? How's that experience? Because you've been in Women's Running Magazine, New Hampshire Chronicle, the New York City Marathon Fashion Show. You've done a few things.
Yeah, I don't know. It's so funny because the first year that I think it was, what year was that? 2019. I crossed the Boston Marathon finish line, and it was like the first time, like the press approached me. Someone goes, "Oh, David Wade from WBZ News wants to interview you." I go, "What? I can't." I was like, in my initial things, I'm like, "No, no, I don't want to talk on live TV. No." Like they're like, "Of course you are. You're dressed like this." I go, "I know, but like
It's not
I'm
for you,
dressed
it's
like."
for me.
Yeah, it's like I thought about it. I'm like, I don't want to talk about it though. Like, I don't want to talk to anyone about it. Can't you just let me be? Like, I'm out here doing this costume. It's like, it's kind of like Bill Belichick at the, let me coach. Like, I don't want to be in the press conference. I don't want to talk to reporters. I just want to do my job. Like, my job is running and dressing up. Like, I don't want to talk about it.
Just did my job.
I know.
I just did my job, and we're moving on to the next race.
Yeah, next, moving on. But so I said, okay, well, I'll talk because I don't want to. You can't say no, right? Can't say no. I've always said you have an
really
opportunity.
Can't. You really can't.
I said, yeah, of course. So then, they asked me, and then the New York Times, I'm just minding my own business at the New York City Marathon, waiting for the start of the race. And the New York Times comes over. I'm sitting on the ground, like eating a donut and coffee, just like making a mess. And they're like, excuse me. Like, yes. They're like, we're from the New York Times. I'm like, yes. We want to interview you. I go, what? It's just kind of like, how did you find me? I'm sitting thousands of people, but somehow they found me just sitting there in front of Dunkin' Donuts. I'm just minding my own business. Like, I'm not trying, you know what I mean? I wasn't trying to find these opportunities, just word of mouth. And then I got a message or DM. I'm like, okay, well, I can't say no. I'm happy to talk about it, but it's great. I'm so happy for it, and if it makes people smile, if people are having fun, or people are inspired by it, I think that's great. And I would do it just for that reason alone, and have fun when I'm out there running around crazy costumes.
So then one day, a podcast named On the Runs jumped into your DMs and asked you the same question, and you said yes.
Yes.
And I was so excited.
So we're local too. We get a little bit of
I love that. Yes.
But, so Yuki, I have to ask, with the New York Times thing, was that just last year with your costume that you had? Or was this another
2 years.
time?
2 years ago. I was the Statue of Liberty in 2022. And
your
that
costume
one
last year was amazing.
Oh yeah, Eric. Don't ask Eric. He hated that. The Yankees.
Really? Was it just?
I was going to ask you, like, are you a Red Sox fan or a Yankees fan, or are you don't care? You just wanted to do it, like.
I'd say I am a Red Sox fan, but at the New York Marathon Day, I was a huge New York Yankees fan, and I had to play that, part very well. I'm in New York City, and I'm in this costume. Everyone's like, "Oh yeah, go Yankees! Who's your favorite player?" I'm like, "Oh,
Jeter." He's not even still on it, is it? I don't
Ruth?
think so.
And they're like, yeah, what do you think of so and so? And I'm like, I think it's great. Like, I didn't want to get killed, and I just wanted to be, part of the Yankees, nation for the day. But
it was an epic costume. Like, there's a lot of glitter there. There's a lot of silver, I guess we'd call it, and that costume was pretty cool. And you wear the same sunglasses I do.
Oh yeah.
Do you have a picture of the Statue of Liberty on there? I want to see it.
I do have it on Instagram somewhere. Yeah, in 2022.
I'll go digging. I'll find it.
In the meantime.
Yes. Yeah. The Yankees but it was more of a play because it's the evil empire. So you could either take it as a fan, or I was a stormtrooper. So I was, basically saying they were the evil empire, which you could take it as positive or negative.
But as long as the New Yorkers let you be, that's all that matters.
They let me be. Yeah,
I bet they loved you.
Except the Mets fans didn't like me. They heckled me, and then so did the Red Sox fans. There were some out there, and they heckled me. So, but most of the times the Yankee fans were out there.
I'm actually a Red Sox fan.
I know. Like, wait.
I'm from New Hampshire.
I'm just playing a part. It's a character.
Totally.
I think this right here, that's Statue of Liberty.
Oh, yes. Yep, that's it. Yep. That's my friend from Holy Cross Field Hockey. She was one of my teammates.
Awesome.
Now, did you run the entire time holding the flame in the air?
Oh, it's Dave.
Yes, and I will tell you, I was in PT for months after that because I hurt my shoulder holding it up.
The dedication off the charts.
It's so ridiculous. Yeah, there's the Dunkin' Donuts. I was sitting by Dunkin' Donuts, just hanging out. Yep.
I went too far. Hold on. I got to go back to Dunkin' Donuts okay, here's the Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah. I was sitting there on the piece of grass. Yeah.
And that's when they came to you and said, we want to talk to you. That's so cool.
Yeah, I was just sitting there. Yeah, I was sitting on the ground. Yeah, I'm still wearing my sweats even. I'm not even ready to go to the starting line. But yeah.
When you go to New York, like, do you do you stay in the city? You get a hotel room and you do all this in the hotel room? Like, does that hinder your ability to do the costume and the makeup that you're not at home?
I have to bring a whole separate suitcase for my makeup palettes and my costumes and everything. I mean, yeah. And I've
Pineapple
just,
guy.
oh, yeah.
I saw him when I ran Berlin a couple years ago. He was there, and I
Yeah.
was like, I got him on video. Very cool. Anyways,
I've destroyed many hotel rooms with the prep. I have
You've
left
never
charged
got that
like a
deposit
glitter
back, did you?
deposit. Yeah,
no,
for all the glitter.
no. I mean, it's bad. We try to leave a good tip, but it's bad because I'm getting ready and it's dark and I'm trying to do my best to be efficient and the glitter goes everywhere, the gems are everywhere. There might be fake lashes on the ground. Like it's a
Oh.
scene. Yeah,
You
it's
need
a
to start
scene.
traveling with a dustbuster or
I
something.
think that's a good idea. Yeah, that once that glitter gets in the carpet, it's there. And there's
Yep.
makeup stains. It's like, oh boy.
We could go on and on and on about some of these costumes. I'm just
Oh.
scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. This is pretty epic. Like, you do some cool stuff. You and Eric, you do so many races. You got a lot here of you and your kids too. Man, it is cool. But you're running Boston this year again. You already have been working on the outfit. What can you tell us? You don't need to give it all away, but this is Boston Weeks. And why do you keep coming back to Boston if it's not because of your dad?
Well,
Not
it
that
is
it's
because of
because
my
you're.
dad. I'll still do it because, I want to make him proud. So of course I'm always
I
he's gonna
think
want
he's
me to do
very
it.
proud.
Definitely.
So yeah, well, it's become part of just, and I came back. Well, I guess we'll go back. I started back with the Boston marathons. I've been doing them ever since 2009. So my streak has started back then, and it was when I decided I'm going to come back to running, and I'm going to run Boston. I didn't qualify for the 2009 one. That was an invitational bib that I received. So it
Excellent.
was too late for me to qualify because I was not in shape yet, but I wanted to do it again. And my running club had bibs they were giving out, and it was kind of my comeback tour. So they were giving me like this bib, and I said, all right. And at that marathon, I said, I am going to requalify at 2009's Boston Marathon now that I have this bib, so that I can keep doing this. And then
Hmm.
it just kept happening. Like I kept requalifying year after year, and I always regretted the one year, and I can't even remember what year. And it was 2001.
Hmm.
I didn't want to do a Boston anymore, and I skipped it, even though I had qualified. And my dad
Oh.
ran it. I wasn't there. I watched him, and as I'm watching it on TV, I'm thinking I really should have been there.
Oh.
I qualified, but I said, I've done it a few times. It's all right. I don't need to keep doing this thing. It was a great
Hmm.
experience. I have other things I want to do, but then I missed it. And from that day forward, I was like, I can't miss it. If I qualify for this race ever again, I have to keep doing it and keep qualifying. So 2009, I qualified, and then I qualified for 2010, and just went on and on. And I've
Good for
continued to
you.
requalify. And I'm like, and I always say, if I requalify again, I'm going to just do it again. I'm never going to
Hmm.
decline that honor. So that kind of kept me going. As far as the costume for this year, I normally don't reveal, what
It
the
is what
costume's going to be.
we are
But
when this is dropping. We are 1 week from the Boston Marathon. I'll let you know that little tidbit.
okay. So a little story about the costume then. It is going to be blue and yellow. It is going to be a unicorn theme because that's just what it has come to become.
Hmm.
Um, this year, I commissioned someone from Etsy to create it for me,
Ooh.
and when I finished, this was in the making. Like I was thinking through this costume last year after I crossed the finish line. Like I start thinking about next year's bot. Like I knew I had qualified for this year, so I started thinking about the costume last summer, and I've had an idea in my head, and by the fall, I knew what I wanted. I just couldn't pull it together. I had this vision, so I reached out. I shared a picture, like I drew a picture of what I wanted, and I sent it
Hmm.
to her. So she created it in January. She mailed it to me, and she goes, "I did it. It's done." I was like, "This is great." And then I get a text message from one of my friends, and she's like, "Yuki, your costume is on so and so's Etsy store." I go, "What the hell are you talking about?" She goes, "Go to this Etsy store.
Oh no.
There's your costume." Because I shared it privately with some of my inside costume friends because
Yes,
I
yes.
go to them, we kind of bounce ideas off each other, and I'm like, what do you think of this? What do you think of my vision? We do vision boards, what have you. So, and she was like, Yuki, you have to go out there. I was like, holy shit. I go, this can't be happening. It's January. Why is my costume out there for the world to see? Like,
Oh
you think
no.
like it was like the worst thing. You think a disaster. I'm screaming and I'm swearing in the house. And Eric's like, what the hell's going on? I go, my costume is out on Etsy. It's like, what a psycho. Like, all right. So then I'm like, oh, what do I do? Like, literally, I was up for all night. Like, I literally lost sleep over this. Isn't that silly?
Oh,
Like,
oh
I
no.
was like, you think it was like this disaster of epic proportions. Like, my costume's on Etsy for someone to buy. It was for sale. She was selling it. And I was a little pissed because I'm like, wait a
What'd it
minute.
go for?
Oh, I don't even
Because it was your
know.
design. Like she
It was
just
my
made it
design.
for you.
Yeah, she made it
Ooh,
for me. And I was like,
that's bad.
oh, right. I said, wait a minute,
Uh-huh.
that's my idea. And she made it. Granted, she made it,
Well,
but I
yeah,
didn't
but that
want other
doesn't give
people
her
to.
like all the rights to it.
So I crafted a very respectful message.
Mm-hmm.
I just said,
Slept on it before, right?
yeah, a
Yep,
couple
that's how
drafts
you gotta do
were
it.
made. Yeah,
Yep, yep.
reread it. Okay, oh, that sounded a little bitchy. All right, we gotta reword this. I gotta put this in so that she will take it down. Take this down. So I just told her my story. I let her know, like, I understood that it probably wasn't going to be possible, but if she had it in her heart, like how much it meant for me that
Mm-hmm.
to have this costume, like I just wanted her to understand how important this costume
Yeah.
was. And my friend said, well, that happened to us actually. And this lady didn't do it. Like, she was like, no, this is how I do
Oh.
business. And I thought for sure
Mm.
this is what she's going to say to me. She's like, she's not going to, but she did. She replied
Wow.
back. She goes, I had no idea how much, I don't know. I had no idea that you were this much into Boston, or that this was such a unique thing just for you.
Yeah.
And she took it off her store within a day.
Wow.
Like, by the next day, it was off her store. It was gone.
Oh.
And
Kudos to her.
yes,
Yes.
yeah, but I was devastated. I thought there's going to be like 20 million Boston unicorns running around.
Oh.
And it'll look like they're like, oh, Yuki, you got so
There
and so's
comes
costume.
Yuki. No, wait. There
Oh.
comes Yuki. No, wait.
Oh.
There's Yuki.
No, I can
Oh.
see how heartbreaking that would be when it's your vision. She just helped bring it to life, and then all of a sudden it's out
Yeah,
there and anybody
out
can
there.
get it. And I would be
Yeah,
devastated too.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I did make it. I made an agreement. I said, all right, once the Boston Marathon's done, you can put it on your store. You can sell it to, however many people you want to sell it to. I don't care, but you do not
Mm-hmm.
sell that costume before
Before, yes,
the Boston Marathon this year.
this is mine.
Kudos to her for doing that for you.
That
Like,
is
for
the right
saying,
thing to
Yeah.
I
do.
understand and I'm
mean,
sorry and I'll take it down. And then for you say, after the race,
well,
sell
especially
it
if
as
it
many
wasn't
times as
her
you want.
idea. Like that just kind of rubs me the wrong way. That she's like, oh, I can do whatever I want with this now. Like,
Yeah,
like,
right.
ooh,
But I, I
yeah, it
will. I
doesn't sit
told her,
well.
I'll give her a shout out that week. I always do. I've had another
Yeah.
person I made one of my costumes for 2022, and we're still good friends. She's done a few things for me, and she always gives.
Mhm.
I always give her a shout out for helping me, because I've actually paid people to do the rhinestones too, because sometimes I just
Yes.
don't have time, and that's
Yeah.
expensive. I've paid someone
Oh,
one
I
hundred and
believe
fifty
it.
dollars to put rhinestones on a costume. I mean,
I
because it's
believe
10
it.
hours of work. I mean, if you think about it, it's like 15
Yeah.
bucks an hour, 10, 50.
Yeah.
That's not much. But when you think
That's
about,
that's a pretty decent side hustle.
that's what
I'd
I
be
said.
like,
I'm
I'd
like,
do that
Yeah.
for $15 an hour.
Especially the time it frees up for you. I mean, that's
yeah,
training time. You got to train not only during the winter and in the dark or on a treadmill, and then you got to do all the rhinestones. Like, now at least you're freeing up 10 hours to train or
yeah,
to sleep or to do
You're still
right.
whatever.
working. You still have family.
$150
Like
is worth
that's a
Yeah,
that to
lot.
me.
Yeah.
that's what I said. Yeah, I work full time. I've got
Hmm.
kids. I've got their activities. I don't have
Yeah.
time to do this all the. So it is worth it. If I have
Understandable.
time, I will. But I have to start early. Like, 2 months before Boston, I started doing it because I would do an hour a day for like
Yeah.
2 months. But you have to plan like that. You can't just decide the weekend of and say, I'm going to rhinestone this whole thing. Well, if you have 20 hours you want to spend, sure, it can be done.
Oh
But
my
who wants to
gosh.
do that for 20 hours
It's a
at once?
lot. Definitely.
Before we move on to the Code Brown Commitments and the Spotify song, we'll have to have you back one day, because I don't even think we peeled it off the first layer here. There's so much we could talk about. But I want to just know, what's one of your, like, tell me one of your favorite Boston marathons that you've ever run. What year was it and why? And why was it 2018 in the rain? No, I'm kidding. That was Erica's favorite. But
Well, I
what's
have
one of
to
your
say, let's
favorite
make her.
marathons, but not counting 1998?
Thank you. That's what I was just gonna say. I'm like, make her pick a different one. We know
Yeah,
why that one was
can't go
very special.
98.
Yeah, that's a tough one. There's because they're all so awesome and so amazing, that it's hard to pick my best one. But, what's interesting, if I think about, I would have to say 2014 was probably the most emotional, goes down as one of my favorite, like, experiences of Boston. And I think for Boston, it's the crowds. And that year, I've done, like I said, I've done 20 of them.
Mhm.
2014, I have never seen anything quite like it. I even to this day, nothing compares to the 2014
I'm
Boston
getting
Marathon.
goosebumps just thinking of it. Meb
Taking that
winning
city
for the
back.
men, and oh yeah,
I
Boston
mean,
strong.
I can't. I mean, I'm just like I get chills. Yeah, I took my phone out, and I said I'm just going to just soak it all in. But
Mm.
I knew it was going to be big, but I had no idea what I was going to experience that day with the crowds, like the people out there. I mean, I just stood there at Kenmore Square and I just had to watch the amount of people. I have never seen that many people my whole life at the Boston Marathon.
They
That's
It
came
was,
out that
incredible.
year for sure. They took
Oh
the
yeah.
city back. They said, no one's going
oh
to
yeah.
scare us or take away our race.
And the
Mm-hmm.
weather was perfect. So the college kids were out. They were all so drunk, but they were fun. Like they were just like, I love you. I love you. And we were just love it was just a love fest that day. Everyone was hugging everyone. It was just like that everyone just came together. I mean, we partied afterwards. Like it was just so much fun. Yeah, but I haven't had that experience since then. And it sucks that something awful had to happen for that kind of experience to,
Mhm.
take place the next year, but I think that's how it always is anytime there's a
Mhm.
Yep.
tragedy where, you just kind of
Yep.
have that comeback, but
Definitely.
that's yeah.
Good answer,
Yeah.
Yuki.
Good answer. That's right. Well, let's maybe you can help us out here. You give us
Yeah.
some good advice, give our listeners good advice. This year we've been building our Code Brown commandments. Now, a Code Brown doesn't have to be a crap in yourself moment. It's just a oh shit moment, like running into a bear on the trail, or maybe having a malfunction with your running attire, or like say the entire bottom of your shoe falls off. We're having our guest this year give us a Code Brown commandment, and you could go in any direction here. You could go running, you could go with your outfits. You
Mhm.
have a lot of options, Yuki.
Yeah, a lot of stories I could choose from. And if thinking about this Code Brown commandment. Well, since we're on the Boston topic, and there's costumes that we've been talking about,
Mhm.
I am thinking about, and I will tell you this: this is the first time that I am sharing this story with anyone,
Ooh.
any other than Eric.
Ooh.
On the runs
Eric
exclusive.
Chorney is the only other person in the world that knows this story. I haven't shared it with
An
anyone.
on the runs exclusive. I
On the
love this.
exclusive. I'm only sharing it with you guys. I
I'm
I don't
listening.
No one else listens to the podcast, so just spare no
Just us.
details and tell us all.
So Boston 2023. I've got this vision of being a blue and yellow flame, unicorn flame.
Ooh.
So I've got my costume idea. I wanted it to look like flames. And I thought of the idea of getting these wristlets, with chiffon, yellow and blue, so that when I was running, it looked like flames coming off, shooting out of my arms. And I kind
Mhm.
of had a flowy chiffon little skirt. So, and I had like the design, like it kind of ended up looking like lightning bolts, but it was really supposed to be like flames. So, anyways, I made these, and my dad helped me. We sewed together these little wristlets, and I sewed on pieces of chiffon. And I'm all excited. I was on Chronicle. I was showing the lady how I was making them, and she was like, "Oh, I'll have to see you at the finish with your chiffon arm, wristlet bands that you're creating." Because I was like, I'm so excited. So we're running the marathon. Everything's going great. They're flowing nicely. I feel like, I'm this. Oh yeah, oh yeah. There they are. Yep, I wore
Oh,
those. That was a cheat.
beautiful.
I was testing them out there. There may
Smart.
not be photos
Oh, that
from
is at a Millennium
That was
race. You're
the
right.
yes, cheap.
before Boston. I remember
Yes.
that.
That was I was a repurposed, yeah, so there I don't well, are they on one of those? Yeah, there you can kind of see them. They got a little wet. They're on my wrist. They were like chiffon pieces. I
Mhm.
think I might still have them. They're kind of wrapped. They ended up wrapping around. But anyways, it gets to the point where I'm like, darn it, I have to like go to the bathroom, right? But I've got a leotard on and I've got these wristlets on.
Mhm.
But at this Boston Marathon, I was trying to talk to all these people but I still wanted to do a decent time. So I wanted to get the photo ops. I want to hug people. I want to take selfies. I want to chit chat with people. So I don't want to take up too much time, not unnecessarily. So that means
Mhm.
water, aid station, bathroom stops. Everything has to be really quick. And I tell you this because I had to go to the bathroom and I had to pee, but I had to be quick and I have this leotard on. So what I do, I usually have to most dancers or whoever know, or swimmers know, you just pull it to the side. I can't take the whole thing off and go naked. So
I
I just
can't
pull the
imagine
leotard
doing
to the
that. I
side.
would do
So
the same thing. Yep.
yeah, so I do it. I pull it to the side. So anyways, I was trying to be quick. I'm like, damn it, I gotta pee. This sucks. I have to keep going. I have people to see. I want to get a somewhat decent time. I'm not gonna, so
Mhm.
I rush in, do my business. I stand up and I'm like, something smells weird. And then I look up and my wristlets that I had spent painstakingly made were brown. Like I'm talking
No.
shit brown, both of them.
No.
And I'm holding them up. I'm like, what the hell is
No.
this? What the? And I go, that smells like shit. I go, don't
No.
even, where's this coming from? It wasn't me. Like, what? So I was kind of pulled over. I stood up, turned around. Someone had explosive diarrhea in the porta potty. I'm not talking a little bit. It was literally, it looked like it had
Oh
gone up the whole back of this freaking thing. And it was
no.
on the seat, like on the seat, on the cover, all over the side. Like, I don't know how that happens. It was like projectile. I stood up and in horror, like I literally was like, I think I almost cried. And I'm looking at myself, and then I think, wait a second, my wrist flames are shitty. Is
No.
my whole back covered in poop? Like, and
Oh
I was freaked.
no.
This can't happen. I'm like, and it was like one of those, I wanted to get out of there. It wasn't me. This wasn't
Do
mine. I'm
not
like,
go in there.
I didn't poop myself. Like, it was awful. Like, I just was like, how am I going to do this? So then I grabbed some hand sanitizer. I'm pumping it and I start trying to clean it myself. Like trying to I got to clean these. I need to finish with these. So I'm trying to salvage the damn things. Like, how am I going to do
Uh-huh.
this? So I take like toilet paper and I'm trying to clean them. I'm in the porta potty cleaning someone else's shit off of my arm
Oh
things. And then I
no.
start feeling my back. I'm like it's dark. I'm trying to see if like anything's happening
Yeah.
back there. Is there stainage? Like, what's happening? And I didn't know. And I kind of sat there and minutes are going by. Like, I'm in there panicking. Like, I don't know what to do. So then I get nervous and I'm like, should I clean this up? I don't want the next person to come in and think I just came out of there in my costumes. It
No.
was a fiasco. I probably was in there a good 3-4 minutes trying to
Oh.
salvage things, trying to figure out what to do with my wristlets. Finally, I gave up. I literally gave up and I ripped off the wristlets. I literally threw them down the toilet. Like, it was like, yeah.
At
And
that
I looked
point, what
at
else
them.
are you gonna do?
There's nothing I
Oh.
can do. And these poor little things, they were just sadly like on top of the pile that's already
Oh
there. I'm just
God.
looking at them going, all that work for nothing. I'm
Oh.
not going to be able to have my finish line photo. You know how I love my
Yep.
perfect
No.
finish line photo
That
with my
is
medals with it.
horrific.
I know, and I
Oh
think it smelled so bad. But the thing is, I think that what I was getting with the code brown commandment is you always check the do not sit, do not do anything
It's a good one.
until you have checked the porta potty. And the thing is, I've been in ultras in the middle of the night, and I've actually had this happen where I walk in and it's a mess on the toilet seat, like some
Oh,
accident, like someone
yeah.
missed and it's all over. But I
Yep.
have my headlamp, and in an ultra, you're kind of slow moving. I'm kind of get in. I'm like, oh, that's a mess. Let me go to the next one. Well, I was
Mhm.
in such a rush trying to like hurry up. I just opened up, turned around, and started to pee, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go. And that's when it was just like it was bad, and
Oh
I was almost
no.
crying, and I walked out, and afterwards, Eric's like after we finished and we're sitting there, and he's like, I was so nervous for you. He's like, could you track people? He's like, I was checking your splits, and he's like, you were gone. He's like, I thought you had to drop out because it was right,
Oh, right.
because you can see where people are, and it shows like your estimated finish. And he saw that I had been gone for 5 minutes. He's like, you were gone. He's like, I thought something happened. He's like, I was so worried. I go, no, I'll tell you what happened. It's like,
Oh my
that's what
God.
happened at mile like 60. At the 25K, we had a bit of an issue.
Oh my God.
So I never finished. And when I finished, the Chronicle lady goes, so what happened to your wristlets? She asked
no.
me on TV. I go, yeah, we kind of had an issue. I had to let them go. I'm like, oh, I can't say that on TV. Like, this cannot go on Chronicle.
No,
But
there's
she
a
literally
platform
asked,
for that, and it's called On the Runs.
yes. But she
Oh,
asked me, I'm like,
no.
why did she have to bring that up? But she asked me that on TV, like, whoa, what happened to your wristbands? Yeah, I'll go back
What a
and tell her later.
story.
They
What a
fell
story.
off.
Now just
Check
send her
those.
this. Send
Oh,
her this.
yes.
I'll clip the entire 5-minute story, and you can send
Oh
her
my
that.
God.
Yeah, yep. So
That is a very wonderful commandment to add to the list. That one is not on there, but
it's
it is
not.
probably one of the most important. I will
Check
I will
before you sit.
definitely. I
Yeah,
always
and
do just because. So
see, you're
Rachel
so
Well,
will
check
never
everything.
sit, but I'm lazy. I'm like, my legs hurt. I don't care. As long as the seat looks clean, I'll sit. I don't care. I'm dirty anyways. Like, it's whatever. But that is I am terrified now, and I will most certainly be
take
checking
the
these
extra
out.
second. It won't
Yeah.
hurt. I mean, you can be in a rush in those races, but yeah.
Uh-huh.
Or the grass. Check there too, because I've actually
Oh,
squatted in poison ivy before.
oh,
So
oh no.
I've had poison ivy. Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, that's the
In the
worst.
wrong lady bits. It's not
Oh
good.
no. Oh no.
That was before a marathon. I ran the marathon and didn't find out till, how poison ivy kind of hits later, so you don't really know
Mhm.
till like the next
Oh,
day. So
Yuki. Well,
I
those
never
How do
are
you-
incredible stories. I feel bad. What happened to that person? What happened to you, mystery
that's what I want
person
to
in
know.
the
How does it
porta potty?
explode up there? How
Oh
does that
my
happen? It was
gosh.
literally on the wall. How did it get on the wall?
I
I was
Couldn't
mad at
tell
the
you.
person.
Don't know.
I didn't even know this human, but I'm like, I hate you. I don't even know this poor runner, but I hated them that moment. I didn't even know them. I wanted to run out there and look for them, like sniff
Yep.
around, like, who is this? Who ruined
Chances
my
are you would have been
costume?
able to find him.
I
Oh my
mean,
yeah.
I don't get how
Oh.
it could happen unless if it's happening like as you're pulling the pants down and you're not sitting down yet. That's the
They're
only way
at
I
an
can think
angle,
about it.
like you're
Oh,
I don't even
It's either that or they did it on purpose and they're listening right now and they're going,
oh,
it
No,
wasn't
Yeah.
us
I hope
because we were
not.
at mile 19.
Oh. Yeah,
that's
we
like
have
their
no
MO. Like they do that. They go to marathons and just do that, and
Oh,
like, or
maybe.
maybe it could have been a spectator. I didn't even think of that because spectators use those.
Oh
I
my
assumed it was
God.
a runner. I suppose I shouldn't assume that.
Eh.
I just
You have a
most
point,
likely was
but
though.
wow.
Erica,
Yeah.
how do you go from that to your song? I mean,
Hell if I know. This is I need to just take a minute to like breathe because I'm still so horrified for you. That is
I
insane.
appreciate you sharing that because
It was embarrassing.
only one person
That
has
may
ever
be,
heard it.
like,
It's
the
an
best
exclusive,
story
an
we've
OTR
had.
exclusive. And
Insane.
I love you for it. Thank you for
Uh-huh.
sharing that story. It's a year later almost. Like
Yeah.
it's time to let it out. I
Mhm.
like it. Don't call me in a week and say edit it out. I want to keep that one.
It still
Oh,
stings a little bit. There was no poop anywhere else, just so we know.
good.
But I was stressed out the rest of the race. I'm
Because
not
you were
kidding.
like, is it on my back? Is it on my leg? Is there anywhere I can't see? And did you walk over to anyone and say, can you tell me if I have shit on my back?
I was close to doing that because I figured they don't know me, but I need to know. There's photographers out here.
Yeah,
Well, let me
Yeah.
tell you, if it was one of us, we would have helped you clean it.
absolutely. We'll bring our butt napkins. They're
Yes,
like
they're
the
amazing.
single package wet nap things. So if you need anything, mile 19, you stop right by.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're gonna,
perfect.
so we're
Yeah.
going to be at mile 19 just after the aid station, hopefully on your left.
By
Excuse
the
me.
Johnny Kelly. Johnny Kelly's statue. I think
That's
that's
right.
where we wanted to be last
And
year.
we'll
but
have
I messed up.
water and stuff. If you want like a special drink, Erica will have it in a cooler for you.
Mhm.
If it's nice out, we will have microphones and we'll hit record and you can give us a quick mile 19 update. Yuki is doing great, or
We're like,
Yuki
hey guys,
ran
how you
into
doing?
a disgusting porta potty, or you can run right by us and just go hi and wave. You don't even have to wave. If you don't like us, you can give us the bird, and that means we're number one in my mind. So we'll
There we
be
go.
there. It'll be so cool. We might see you before because we're doing a few other races around here locally. So
Okay.
Erica has to get to her big question. It is usually the hardest question our guests always have, but I did prep you.
Yes.
Good. All right, Yuki. So we have ourselves an excellent Spotify playlist, and we love to invite our guests to add songs to it. So would you like to add something? Just anything that pumps you up, gets you motivated, or just puts you in the mood to run another Boston?
Shipping Up to Boston by Dropkick Murphys. I love it.
I feel like that should probably go on there.
Should be on there. I assumed it already was.
Fine, it's going on there. That'll be like the
I
general
love it.
Boston week
But
song.
you get to pick your own
Drop
song.
it. Yes.
Well, if you look at my Instagram account, I'm a huge K-pop fan.
Oh,
Yes.
I listen to Korean pop music, so it's really all in Korean, other than their Japanese songs. So I listen to J-pop as well, but because Korean artists sing Japanese songs, I did my entire 100-miler was strictly Korean music. So it's all in
Really?
Korean. Yes,
Very
I love
nice.
K-pop. We go to K-pop concerts. I'm huge into K-pop fandom.
Yeah, I saw you guys did some traveling. Didn't you go to like Jersey or I forget where else you went? But
yeah,
that's
we've been
really
to LA just to see these K-pop artists.
Wow.
It's really a show. It's the music, it's the choreography. Their costumes are phenomenal. My daughter and I, we sit there and we rate the costumes the K-pop artists have because they will do amazing costume changes. Like you think Taylor Swift has some costume changes, go see
Oh,
some
so
of these
they're in
artists.
another league. Okay.
Oh yeah, it's a show. It's a whole production with their backup dancers, the choreography, like but there's a lot of rhinestones, a lot of glitter, but so I mean, I would put a K-pop song on there.
Mhm. Is there a
My like
special one that you love the
I
most?
guarantee you it's not on the list.
it's
Guarantee you it's
probably
not on the list already.
Do you have
You'll be
BTS
the
on the
first.
list?
I don't think
BTS?
I do know of BTS, but I don't think we have any on there.
So one of my favorites, and like they have American like K-pop songs, but they're not my favorite. But they have a collab with Steve Aoki. I don't know if you know Steve Aoki,
Ooh,
Oh,
but
I
yes.
love Steve Aoki.
DJ.
Okay.
yeah, they've done a collab with him, and the song's called Mic Drop. It's a pretty pumped up song.
Excellent.
Oh,
Yep.
I'm gonna like that one. I don't know anything really about K-pop. I just figure I just think of K-pop and I'm like, oh, that's my generation's boy band and girl bands like the NSYNC and Spice Girls. Am I totally off or am I on track here?
I think so, but it's a little bit more than that because it's the I'd say with the dance choreography music, it's a similar style, but I think it's the
Mhm.
whole culture. So when you think of
Mm.
K-pop, it's the culture because they're very interactive with their fandom, and there's just
Oh,
a lot
fun.
of different like things they do, like the light sticks. They do a lot of these customs, a lot of sayings. Like it's a whole big thing. So it's a community. So it's a
Oh,
little bit
awesome.
different. Like it's nothing like when I first got introduced to it. Like you just are together, kind of like the Swifties, but she doesn't communicate so much. Like these K-pop artists are on live. There's all different platforms. There's all different reality shows. It's almost as if you get to know them on a personal level because they're that
That's
much
cool.
open with their fans and with all their shows that they do. Like you're inside their living space. It's really
Wow.
cool.
I like it. Do they vlog on YouTube and have like, daily vlogs and stuff? Because that's what I'm into. I'm into watching those YouTube vlogs, like Casey Neistat or Ryan Van Duzer. Or they do that?
They do, but it's a different platform. Like they have like
Mhm.
Korean like like sites that they go to, like V
Ah,
Live, and you can go there and communicate in different apps where
That's
you go
cool. So
on.
fun. I
mic
like
drop
that.
with a little bit of Steve Aoki.
Steve
So
Aoki.
I will know who this is. This is
Yeah, the
cool.
dance is really neat. If you watch the music video, it's pretty cool. Steve Aoki's in it.
We'll learn it and dance it as you run by us.
Yeah, we'll learn it, and the two of
I
you
say
can
that
make
and
a
I'm like,
reel
I'm not
to
a
it, and we'll
dancer.
collab on the runs and Yuki collab to K-pop mic drop
Oh
Yeah.
God.
while running in costume somewhere around here.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Let's
That'll be
do
an
it.
original. There's nothing like that out there.
Excellent.
Yep.
Ah, so much
Big
fun.
time. You can do it, Erica. You two live close. Well, we all do. But Erica runs National Rail Trail all the time. That's a perfect spot to do it.
Mm-hmm. We'll see
Ooh,
what I
yeah.
can do. I gotta actually learn how to dance.
And put
Mm.
rhinestones on your skin and all that.
I got some
Yeah,
work
we'll
to
get
do.
you there. We'll get you there, Erica.
Perfect.
Well, this is so cool. Like I think you and Erica would, that would be awesome. But I think you'll run into each other a lot more than you'll run into me. But it will be neat. Maybe you'll do an ultra again one day, like Ghost Train. I hope to see you more out there.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you coming on and doing this. And like I said, I don't even think we knocked off the first layer. Maybe next year after Boston, we'll get you back on and do like a Boston recap and also a Yuki recap or something. We have so much more to cover. This resume, an impressive resume. Let me tell you, it is something else. Like, I think we maybe talked about 12 races. So that means we have 488 to go. And do you know what your 500th race will be? Is it going to be Boston or will it be something before?
Oh, it's probably going to be something before. I do like 40 races a year nowadays. So, yeah,
So
probably
you don't plan ahead like I want this big number to be a big race. You just keep going.
I didn't think about that. No, but now you made me think. Should I make it special? I should think about what that's going to be because that's going to be this year at some point.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be in 2 races. What's your next race?
Very soon.
Oh, geez. What's the New York City Half Marathon this weekend?
Okay, that's $4.99.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
you can't go that long
answers my
until
question.
Boston.
Oh, wait a minute. I did one yesterday, so I didn't put that on the list, I don't think. I didn't put
Well,
yesterday's race on the list.
So New York City
NYC.
Half
Right.
Marathon will be your 500th race. Congratulations, because it's already happened when this drops.
Oh, this is exciting.
That's
Oh,
a big
yeah.
one. That's a big deal.
And
We
I'm
gotta
in New
get you
York
a
City.
sash or something, a nice like crown to wear, a tiara.
Oh,
Gotta
yes.
celebrate. You gotta
Well,
celebrate.
I will have a costume. Actually, Eric and I were doing a couple's costume that day,
Yes,
so
we
that's
are.
going to be
Excellent.
extra special. Oh, wait till I
Awesome.
tell Eric this. He doesn't know. I don't think of it that way. I just put it on the list and I add up the list and
He's
You'll
got to go
have to
along for the ride now.
you'll have to make 1,000 Boston. I'm telling you right now.
okay.
Yeah.
She's got some time.
You got 500
Or
races
you do
before
40 a
999 to
year.
figure it out.
Wait.
How many?
That took me like 20 something years just to get to this.
Well, but you're doing 40 a year. You're
Well,
right.
yeah, I'm doing
Even if you do 50 a year, that would be another 10 years.
10
You
years.
got it, Yuki. Come on.
Okay.
I believe in you.
What?
We'll support you. We'll support you. We'll sponsor you throughout the way. We'll talk about it. We'll
yeah.
pump your tires. Have you done all 6 worlds? I didn't even ask you that. I don't even know. Do you have your 6 star?
I just have 3. I have 3 stars. Chicago, Boston, New York.
Okay. Well, we'll go do Tokyo.
Everyone says that. I'm like,
That'll
I
be a
know.
real
I've
special
lived
one.
there. I have a connection in Tokyo.
You
There
need
you
to make
go.
Tokyo your number 6 though. Because that's a big deal.
That's a big
I've
deal.
said I said I'm going to try to get into New York this year. I'll try for Chicago next year. And if I get into those 2, then I'll figure out Berlin, London, and Tokyo. And I want Boston to be my 6. And we're talking that's years from now. Years. I feel like I have to earn it. I'm not fast enough. And I'm scared of raising 10 grand. No, it's not the raising the 10 grand. It's being charged whatever I don't raise. So I want to earn it by volunteering, by going up and supporting others and being a part of it. And if I get 5, then I'll do Boston as my 6. But, that 5 might take me 50 years. So don't hold me to that. If I get a chance one day, I'll probably take it because Erica always says, you have to take it if they give it to you. And I'm like, I know.
I think he's put in enough with the podcast and bringing the whole running community together. I think he's put in more than enough dues in order to get a bib. So if somebody someday somewhere wants to give him one, I say go for it, man.
I haven't even run enough
Opportunities like that don't
marathons in
come
my life,
along
though. I've run
very often.
2. I've run 1 marathon and 1 Ironman that had a marathon in it. So
That's okay.
I got to get marathon number 2 this year, and it's going to happen in the fall. Yuki, you're awesome. Thank you for doing this. Good luck in the Boston Marathon. Thank you for being part of our Boston Week series. This is a ton of fun.
Now our pod fam. She's part of the pod fam.
You are part of our pod
Yay!
fam.
We will be cheering you on the big day. We can't wait to see you run by in all of your Yuki corn glory.
I
We'll
can't wait
talk
to see you
before.
guys. Yeah, mile 19. I'm going to get ready. Maybe I can give some extra wristlets to you guys in case I
Yeah.
lose them.
Just make
You'll-
sure they're not brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do a trade-off. But if there's anything else you need, just let us know and we'll have a little pick-me-up for you, like a soda or
Aw,
a
thank
candy
you.
or whatever you want.
Yes, flat Coke. That's my thing.
Definitely. I'll shake one up special for you.
That was so much fun. A dream come true. I'm on it. I'm serious in saying that. When I started seeing you doing things, I'm like, I need Yuki. And when everyone at the Goffstown Gallop, when I met you, said you need to get Yuki, I said I want to wait for Boston Weeks because this is something special. It's a big deal. Thank you for being a part of it. I really appreciate it, Yuki. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Everyone, I hope you enjoyed that. The Yuki Corn, Yuki Chorney on the On the Runs podcast.
Yuki, you beautiful unicorn, you. Thank you so much for sharing everything you did. I mean, you
Everything.
spared no
Everything.
details. No details were spared.
We have a lot more to talk to her about.
I mean, she does so many races that there's got to be more stories here and there and everywhere.
Yeah.
So if you ever want to come back, Yuki, you just let us know. We are more than happy to talk because you are just fantastic.
Yeah,
Absolutely
I feel
wonderful.
like everyone knows her as that the running unicorn in Boston Marathon, but she's done like now 500 races.
500. Yeah, as of the United Half, right? That
The
was
United
her number
Half was her
500?
500th race. That's right.
Mhm.
So I don't know where this one lines up because she's done a few between. We talked to her, 2 weeks ago around then? So
Yep.
there's
She's already done another, like a 10K the other day.
and she was
So this
supposed
is
to
like
do cheap, of
502,
course, probably, right?
503. I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. Yuki was
yeah.
awesome. Oh, that was so
She is
cool.
awesome.
Our third guest of Boston Weeks. We have one more amazing guest for Boston Weeks before the Boston Marathon. We'll see what happens after the Boston Marathon if we can get some finishers on the pod. But that was
Hopefully.
so much fun. She was just like, I was blown away. Like, I didn't know she was from, well, she was born in Vancouver, lived
Mhm.
a good part of her life in Japan. Didn't know any of this. Her dad, the whole story about her dad's running for better health that got
Hits me
her
right
into running.
in the heart, in
Right.
the feels.
Didn't know
It was
any of that.
beautiful.
And I love that about this podcast is sometimes you do the homework and sometimes you leave a little bit to find out.
Mhm. Plus, everything's not just as it seems on the outside. You got to dig deeper.
Yeah.
There's always stuff underneath the cover, you know?
It was
So,
super cool. But
yeah,
maybe we can go to
absolutely.
Tokyo with her and we can do like a Tokyo trip and she can be our.
How fun would that be?
I know she said her
Absolutely.
Japanese was a little rusty, but like
Well,
if we
her
go, we have to
rusty
take her.
Japanese is 1,000 times better than my anything Japanese. So
Yeah,
I have
absolutely.
no skills.
So Yuki, you're coming to Tokyo with us whenever we
Yes.
go.
That would be cool.
That'd
But,
be
oh my
super
God,
cool.
I'm still mildly horrified at the story she told me because everybody knows the porta potties they are very hit or miss, and when you get a bad one, you get a bad one. Like that just reminded me of a story. One of my new ultra friends, Emily, was running hamster wheel, and she did probably the 30 hour. So there were very few numbers of porta potties at that race, and I think she got one that was full, if you know what I mean. So it was crusting the top, and that just grosses me out too. I'm like, oh, you poor thing. I hope you got away with that without getting
Yeah.
all messy. But oh man, the extreme of that, I just can't imagine opening up a porta potty and
I mean,
seeing
when
that. I'd
she
be like,
goes, I have
shut
a
that.
story I haven't told anybody. I was just like,
Literally
yes, this is
horrified.
what we're here for. This is amazing. Oh, what a story. We're a storytelling podcast, as I love to tell people. Man, what a cool week we've had with these three amazing guests. It's so cool because we're still emailing with Catherine, and she has a few things she wants us to talk about. Do you
Yes.
have that in front of you?
I can get it real quick if you want me to.
Yeah. So coming up this Friday, real quick, Catherine Switzer, we were emailing with her as she came back to the Northern Hemisphere, and she wanted us to plug a few things. We talked about this last week, but we finally got the details of the events, and if we can make it to Boston, we'll know later. I honestly, I actually don't think I'm going to make it on Saturday, but if I can, I think we'll go to Catherine's event because she really wants to meet us, and she wants to introduce us to one of her friends, as she told us. So we're going to try. but she has some details. Like, you have the details now of the event,
I got
right?
the details now.
All right, let's get the deets.
So on Friday, April 12th, from 7:30 to 9:30, 261 Fearless is holding a shakeout run. It's a 3K shakeout run, followed by some coffee. So you're going to want to go hang out with Catherine and friends. It's going to be an amazing time. And then on Saturday, April 13th, from 10:30 to noon at Marathon Sports, right on the Boston Marathon finish line, there's going to be a book signing. So Catherine's going to be there. Joanna Garton is going to be there. And Elvin Cabet is going to be there. So you're going to want to go check that out for their new book, All in Stride. You guys are going to love it. It's going to be a blast. I'm really hoping to make some of these events. Yeah, I got to get in. I got to get into Boston. I do.
I think if I can't go, I hope you still go.
I really hope I can.
Represent the pod.
Mm-hmm.
I hope we're going to have some new stickers. I put in an order. Let's
you?
talk about it on Thursday. But we
Because
did a
our
little
new-
updating with our logo or with our mascot, and we have a new name for him. And we're going to talk about it in the beginning of Thursday's episode.
Yes,
so you got to wait 2 more days. If you can guess the name, shoot me a DM. But we already picked it out. It is.
If anybody
great.
can guess this, I'm going to be super surprised and proud that they just know us so well.
But I ordered 300 custom stickers of the little running guy, our little running poop emoji. And hopefully, I really hope, fingers crossed, I have them by Monday. I want them by Monday to deliver before Monday so I can take them to the marathon. Absolutely. It was one of those deals, and I just jumped on it. And I was like, there we go. We updated. We got that finished, fine cut looking, sharp image of our mascot.
Insert name here.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm super excited.
Oh, that's awesome. I can't wait to see the finished product.
Yes. So anyways, before we go, one more thing I want to ask you. Do you have a Paul Johnson update for us?
I have I'm pretty behind on my Paul Johnson know-it-allness, but I know he's halfway there. And when you were talking about Casey Neistat the other day, I wanted to jump in because he's been releasing every Friday these quick little 10-minute episodes about his whole journey. So I think he has 4 of them out so far. Number 5 is coming out soon. Last I checked, he was in Missouri. He's just cruising. He's still trying to raise money for RWB. And I mean, he's trying to raise $1 million. So if anybody's got any spare cash rolling around, just feel free to throw it his way, and it goes towards a great cause. So
yeah, he's doing a great job. I'm watching his story. I'm jumping in the Instagram lives on occasion. They tend to do that at the very end, the last few miles, and they're doing a live. And I even asked a couple questions like, what's he listening to? He's either listening to country music or big booty music.
That is both ends of the spectrum. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything he's posting is on Strava too, guys. Check it out. He's doing a great job. If you can help and donate to the cause, he's doing it for.
Check out his YouTube page. Those quick little episodes are super fun. He looks like he's having a blast with it. It's funny though. He does show with some of his Instagram posts, he has feet videos, and we were like, oh, he can join our Only Feet page. But yeah, he's a cool dude, and I wish him luck. This is a cool adventure.
And speaking of YouTube, go and subscribe to our YouTube channel because I just dropped episode 99, and probably sometime today when you're listening or Wednesday morning, I am going to release the Catherine Switzer episode. They take a long time to upload, so I'm never going to have a consistent time, but I'm going to shoot for, when we're back to 1 episode a week, I'm going to shoot for maybe Thursday YouTube drops of that episode.
Awesome.
That will be in May, but I'm going to have Catherine's up. We will have Allie's up really soon too, probably this week. And then Yuki will come out hopefully before the marathon, or maybe just after, maybe the Tuesday after. I have to figure out what we're going to do for next week's episode on Tuesday. It might be an OTR classic, and I have that lined up if I have to do it. It all depends on weather at the marathon, and if we bring mics, how the audio comes out, and then we'll have a couple recaps. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Subscribe to that YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram, give us a 5-star rating and a comment if you can and know how on Apple Podcast or Spotify, wherever you find your podcast. We would really appreciate it. 103 episodes. We are rolling, getting that YouTube going. We're having so much fun. The compliments you guys gave us, all the sharing of episodes 100 and 101 this past week was amazing. I love you guys. Thank you so much for pumping the tires of the pod.
Oh, it makes us feel so special. I love it.
Yes.
We love you. You guys are awesome. Thank you for listening. I mean, same old stuff we always say, but we wouldn't be here without you.
And on Thursday, you're going to find out the name of our mascot. So we should do something good, something bad, bit of both. What do you think?
It's up to you.
Bit of both. All right, send us home.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. We really hope you enjoyed this episode and all of our other episodes. Keep doing what you're doing, and don't forget to stretch.
3, 2, 1.
All right, cool. And your boyfriend or husband's name is Eric, right?
Yes, he is
And
also Eric.
And he spells it correctly with a C.
Yes.
What a guy. I love the guy. And he's a big Bruins fan.
Oh, huge.
Yes.
He's passionate about that.
Well, me too.
Yeah.
Erica knows very well.